here's what I'm saying is like within your content, your live videos, everything. This is why like ads can now become a lot more, a lot less scripted, more real, more authentic, is because um, you have an algorithm that is listening to every word that you're feeding it, and then will show that content to a person who they think is going to actually enjoy it.
Mm.
So, which is why, like, if you look at the videos that I've been putting on YouTube as of recent, so this isn't just theory. This is actually stuff that is proven. I've had people comment on these YouTube videos where I've got to say, like, some of these people are like, "Whoa, you could be my soulmate." Like, we we have got so many things in common, similar values, etc. And there's multiple of these people, and they're commenting on the videos and being like, "Yo, I love this value so much.
Mm.
Where's this guy been? And this is like my algorithm has actually helped me for once." But it's not the algorithm. It's what I've given to the algorithm. Because the problem
Right.
is that right now with social media, everybody's using social media and giving data to the algorithm about who they are, which is helping other advertisers to get their money's worth. But what they're
Yeah.
not doing is they're not giving information to the algorithm who is working for them for free 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
not
yeah.
giving,
I haven't really thought about it that way, to be honest.
you see, mindset shift.
Yeah.
They're not giving information to this algorithm who is going to work for them for free about who they want the algorithm to bring to them.
Yes.
That's what they're doing. So it's literally like if you think about who this algorithm is as well, it can connect you with your soulmate, like your soul client
Right.
avatar. It can connect you with that person from anywhere in the world at any time and like bring you people who are the dream clients, which is why you want to show yourself as someone who is um, that the authority, as I was saying, but like actually give the algorithm uh, the information that will make it easy for the algorithm to pull those people towards you. So you may be able to look at like who's been coming to your profile recently and be like, oh yeah, I've been getting some mums come, I've been getting some like Muslim women come as well, um, which is because that's what you've given to the algorithm.
Mm.
But it's now about like actually thinking bigger with it in terms of how much you can potentially like connect with your ideal audience. And another way to view it too is see the algorithm as if it's a human being, number one, or a machine.
Yeah.
See the algorithm like it's like running to different corners of the planet for you for free and getting on planes, etc., inviting people to come see your content. That's how you're going to see the algorithm like, number one. So you can see the value and how much you're leaving on the table by not actually giving tons of data and information to the algorithm daily. But the second thing that I would say is that you want to see the people on the platform, the views as actual people.
Mm.
Because two things will happen there. One is that you'll have a new sense of appreciation for the views that you're getting on your videos. Like if you have 10 views, 20 views, 30 views, 60 views, you'll be like, holy shit, I've got a room full of people, of everyone that's actually here listening to me speak and enjoying it. When you're getting likes, imagine it's like people that are clapping at what you're doing, giving you a standing ovation. When you're getting a comment, imagine it's like somebody who is actually like responding to you and you're having a dialogue with them back and forth on a stage. Like that's how you kind of want to view it. So that's one thing. But then the second thing that it'll do is actually uh, prevent you from just putting out random content that's going to attract anyone. Because then what's going to happen is like you'll visualize yourself having 1,000 views, and maybe it's just like a bunch of creepy guys that
Mm.
you all have the gawping at you and, are not actually there to learn from you, but are just there for some other reasons, like, that's the last thing that you want. And if you
Yeah.
can visualize that as well, like, then you're gonna be a lot more intentional with the kind of content that you're putting out. And you'll just notice that the quality of people that are gravitating towards you are gonna be, so much more aligned, is the best way I can put it. Because the thing is I bet now with the way that you have gone through this redundancy, it's kind of given you a little bit of a wake up call. That's only what I would say. If this is maybe the first time that this has happened, is this the first time you've been through any type of redundancy, or has it ever happened in the past as well? And you're on mute, by the way.
Oh, have I dropped off again? Oh my god.
You did. I didn't
Yeah,
hear anything.
so this is the first time it's hitting hard, really, because I wasn't really expecting it, and I just recently, upgraded. You know, yeah, I just recently upgraded to a 5 bedroom property myself. So detached property, and took on a bigger mortgage, and so well. Anyway, I've got absolute confidence in God that is going to come true for me. So, but I just need to get this on track, and just you know run with it. So I'm quite happy to
Mhm.
join your community and learn from you, and grow and scale. You know.
Yeah, I mean that's like, so before you said now you're in a 5 bed property. What was you in before?
So I had a 3 bed, and then I took on an additional 5 bed. But I live in a 5 bed, and I want to monetize the 3 bed. You know.
Oh, got you. So you still got the 3 bed there as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So yeah, like the redundancy from what it sounds like that kind of came out of nowhere. But
Yeah.
like, was that for any specific reason? Did they tell you, or was it just not necessarily spoken about?
No, they just said for business efficiency. It's one of those terminologies they use if they don't have a reason. So.
Yeah, I personally think that, like, right now, like, you are just the beginning of this
Mhm,
because the way that AI has just absolutely blown up over the last year, even though it's been around for the last decade. More and more companies are starting to see that we can cut our costs by not necessarily having, you know, staff members that we have to pay to just physically be there.
mhm,
We can have AI that can get us the same result faster, lower cost, and it won't complain. It won't take sick days. It won't do any of these things. So now companies are starting to have these efficiencies, right? And letting go a lot more people right now without reason. I think you are just one of those first people to be experiencing this, but the predictions of what the experts are saying is that within the next 5 years, 99% of jobs are going to become obsolete because of AI, and how people should be a lot more concerned about that in terms of job security versus immigration. But the news and media, what you can see them talking about a lot more is like, oh yeah, get worried about all of the Indians and Pakistanis and the Muslims who are coming in and taking your jobs. No, that's not the biggest concern right now. The biggest concern to people's economic security is going to be AI. Now you're fortunate because, like you said, you got your other asset in terms of your property that you can put on rent. But for so many other people right now, they're just going to be absolutely taken out, and will have no other choice but to lean on the government. And so with all those people, all those people are
Absolutely.
going to they're going to just end up getting to a point where initially it'll be like, yeah, this is great, we're getting free money, not having to go to work. But then if they don't have their own assets, if they don't have their own business that is actually generating them an income, then very quickly they're going to experience not having any control whatsoever in terms of where they can go, what they can do, what they can say. Like, so many things will be removed in terms of those basic freedoms. So this is why, like, now more than ever, like, as you said, God orchestrated this for yourself for a reason. And I personally believe as well that, like, it could be all in divine timing. And this is just the Kickstarter to your next season of life. Because what I can hear from your career as well is that you've certainly done a lot of growth. You've worked in sales, especially, and I had my few years within the sales career as well when I was working my 9 to 5, and I know how much of a brutal job that it can be, whichever level that you're doing. Whether you're doing the initial sales of prospecting and cold outreach, etc. But then when it gets to account management, that's like just a higher level of sales, maybe a little bit less pressure, but it can be a ruthless career, ruthless industry, but all preparing you for this next chapter of your life. So the interesting thing about this too is this is quite related to the actual topic of conversation. I don't know where he's dropped off. We'll see if he's able to hop back in. But whilst he's coming back, Yasmin, how are we?
Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikum salam.
How are you doing, Mo? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm very good. How about you?
Alhamdulillah. Good start to the year.
Yeah,
Getting things done.
that's great.
Yeah, but I read the preview to the school and I was like, this is like exactly what I wanted to speak to you about anyway. So I'm waiting for the ad stock.
Yeah, I mean, I've personally spent the last couple of weeks with family as one thing, but then another thing has been just getting together this new framework and actually working on all of this so that I can, not necessarily so I can present to you, but it was just actually more so for myself. I thought, okay, this is going to be so good for everyone else. So you're going to love it. Frank, I thought we lost you.
Yeah, sorry, there was some internet disconnection, but I'm back on now. Yeah,
Okay,
so
great.
happy to rejoin and crack on,
Yeah, amazing. So I was just saying that, like, the timing of you sort of going through this, like being thrown into this new season of your life. I mean, it's just, it's you can't even make this stuff up. Because if you go back and you look at some of the previous videos that I was making last month, I was talking about numerology. I'm not sure if you ever heard of numerology before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how, like, right now we're moving into a new 9-year cycle. So within numerology, the science of numbers, it's about looking at, how numbers work with certain seasons of our life and our personalities, etc. So we've just come out of a 9-year cycle, which is the end of a chapter, but we're going into a new 9-year cycle. And this is the first year within that 9-year cycle that typically starts around like the new year, so January 1st. And the fact that you're saying that, like, you've just ended one career like a month ago, and now it's like the season for where you're stepping into the brand new one of new beginnings. That's literally the fairy tale of numerology. And starting something brand new right now. This would be the best time to do it, because this entire year, especially, like, so many people are going to be telling a similar story to yourself, where it was like bringing something to a close, the year before, starting a fresh chapter right now. So you're getting a really good fresh head start by just starting on January of this year as well, which is great. There he goes. His internet's gone again. He's in the UK, but he's got the African internet.
I was gonna say, is he like in the UK? But there you go. Maybe it's the weather.
Yeah, it's literally snowing where we are right now, and we've got a bunch of snow.
We got no snow, but just the very, very cold air. Horrible.
Yeah.
I regret not going to South Africa this
I was just about
January.
to say, I don't know why you
We're
stay.
normally never here at this time of the year now, so we're feeling it.
Yeah, it would have been glorious if you was able to be out there, South African Christmas, but
Yeah.
let this be the last one.
Let this be the
ever.
last one. Oh my goodness, please. Just make that dua for me, please.
That's the most important dua.
Yeah.
No winter Christmases. But yeah, this one's been good. I've spent some quality time with my family, probably more than I've ever done in the last few years. And it's been kind of crazy, like just how many gatherings and little experiences that we've had. So it's been really blessed. But at the same time, I have been not necessarily like super aggressive with my work, but I'd say the creative side of my brain has been working by putting these systems together, and especially this advertising one that is it's game changer. And tell you what actually kicked it all off was the conversation that I had with you, where we were chatting on, I think it was WhatsApp or one of these messaging platforms.
Yeah.
And I just started to drop the offer for you as to how you should describe it to your target audience. And then I was like, whoa, I've got to get all this down because this is good stuff. And then it just kept on building from there. But really what was happening, and I think it was a similar thing when I created my first ever unique offer, which was my God Life program. And like when it all came through me, it was just so effortless in terms of how I was able to put it together. And then I got it all down on paper and released it. And yeah, it was like something that I couldn't even describe where it came from, but it was just this divine inspiration. So with right now as well, like with what I've just made with the ABCs of advertising, I'd say it's a very similar thing where like without using AI, without using so much ChatGPT, it was just, this was genuinely coming from my brain.
Good.
Yeah. So initially it was like, okay, this is how I want to put this all together. And then it became a thing of, oh no, this is a great framework that can be used for everyone. A lot of the workbooks that I made last year were following a similar pattern in terms of how I was putting them together. But this one, I'd say, is specifically going to be great for you, because I know right now, like you're doing a lot of ads, seen them on Instagram, TikTok, and they seem to be like coming through in volume, which is great. So
Yeah, trying my best to stick to the one a day.
yeah. And how are you finding that so far?
I'm not like recording them once a day, but I'm doing it in sort of batches.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a lot easier now. Like, but I don't have like any apprehension if I say like, okay, let me just record something. I don't like get nervous or anything. I just put the camera on and just say whatever I want to say. But yeah, it's I'm just trying to put some thought into it, like as much as I can, but keep it short at the same time. So yeah.
Mm.
But it's good. I
And
like doing the ads, to be honest. I think I
what
prefer
do you
those than the actual like value content.
why?
I don't know. I just feel like it's short and it's just like to the point, and someone either likes it or doesn't like it. That's it.
Yeah. There's less like ambiguity, and it's
Yeah.
more
Straight to the point.
yeah, it's more like it gets you closer to a result rather than just kind of putting something out there and hoping that people will eventually buy your offer.
Yeah.
Not to say that putting out value-based content or entertaining content doesn't have its own purpose to it, because it definitely does. But when you're just getting started out and you've got all of this overwhelm in terms of things that you could be doing within your business, generating leads is one thing that no matter what business you're in, every business needs leads. Every business, once it has more leads, will be able to bring in more business. That's usually the main bottleneck. It's the oversimplification of business. Just generate tons of leads, and then you'll get sales.
Yeah, this is. I think I'm ready to like sort of go to like the paid ads, but I'm not very familiar with how to do it and the sort of technical side of it. But I'm hoping that you can shed some light on that.
It's so easy. I would say it's as simple as setting up Instagram. Like, everyone knows how to set up an Instagram. You just you get the app, you put in your details, and then you're able to start posting. They've made it easy on purpose so that they don't have to jump and teach them how to do it. Like, the reason why it's so easy for any person to just go on Facebook, go on Instagram, and set up an account, an ads account, is because they want everybody to be able to do it without so much difficulty. So, like, I think I remember doing it because I've done it with a few people, but I remember doing it with Roy, and I think we did it in like literally a couple of days, because not necessarily that's how long it took us to do it. It was more like, no, it took us half an hour to set up the initial thing, and then the verification of it took another day. He came back to me, I sent him a couple of text messages, he had it set up. So it really is that simple. And now more than ever, because back then there wasn't really that many advertisers, so less people on YouTube were teaching it. Whereas now, if you want to set up a TikTok ads account, or you want to set up a Facebook ads account, all you do is go on YouTube, and you might not even need to watch a full 10, 15, 20-minute video. You might just, through somebody's shorts, be able to figure it out, or figure out the thing that you were struggling with. Because there's just that many people who are teaching it right now. So it's that simple. And even Meta, TikTok, these platforms, like, they actually have the instructions in the advertising platform right now. So you can literally go in there, figure it out yourself. And that's what my one of my cousins, Asman, did. Like, he literally didn't have anybody teaching him. He just figured it out himself, because with the younger demographic of people as well, like, they tend to just have this knack of being able to figure things out themselves. technology. Yeah. So it's really, really that simple. The most difficult thing is making a good ad. Like, another thing that I used to worry way too much about in the beginning, when I don't think I should have been touching this aspect. And that's why, like, even with Roya, when I was helping him to get leads with his, I never got him to touch this aspect, which is what I think we got way too wrapped into for like 2 years. It was just going on Meta and starting to understand all of the metrics,
Yeah.
starting to view ads. And when you're doing that, I feel like it just like, it doesn't allow for creativity to emerge. It doesn't allow for you to get better, because ultimately the way that you're going to get better is by just reps, doing a mini little plan as to, what's going to be the inputs, and then taking the action. And then once you've taken the action, it's going to be, a review. What's working well, what's working not so well, and how can we move forwards and get some even better results. So,
But like, you know what I was gonna ask you, sorry, before we move on, I'll forget about this. Like, just say that I'm doing like the ad a day, just to post on Instagram now. But when it comes to actually like paid ads, am I gonna do like the same thing, like just like every one that I make and try it out, or is it just
yeah,
do the ones that are doing well and
no,
put those
so
on paid ads? Or
like, let's put it this way: more creatives is always better in general.
Mhm.
And I'd say, like, the biggest mistake that I've made on my advertising journey is, when finding an ad that's worked, stopping my creative process, because I just got complacent. And I was like, oh, I got leads and I got all these people to talk to. So I don't have time to make more ads. This was the biggest mistake with my advertising journey, because at the end of the day, I could have been making ads daily, because you now know how much effort it actually requires to make an ad. Once you have that confidence to just pull out your camera and make it, like, you can make an ad within seconds to a minute. You can then edit an ad within 10 to 15 minutes, and then you can have it posted 1 to 2. So, like, really, every single day you can be making an ad, and if you want to batch create it, it will take you 1 to 2 hours, and now you've got enough for a week or a month.
Yeah.
So the thing with getting the ads for which ones are you going to get them to be paid, it's like, the more data that you have organically, the less that you need to test inorganically.
Right.
When you're testing paid advertising, or when you're doing paid advertising, there's two main things that you're doing. You're doing testing, and you're also doing scaling. So with the testing phase, this is where you are like, looking at which of the ad creatives do you want to place more money on. So if you've done the majority of the testing through organic free marketing, and you can see that there's one clear winner out of 100 ads, because it's maybe got like 10 comments on it, or 100 comments, you know that if that got a single comment, like, it's probably going to work with paid.
Right.
But if it got like 10 leads on there from comments, or people DMing you, or like, just some virality to it, when you put that out on the paid platform, like, you don't even need to put money on it to decide whether or not it's going to work. So you can have multiple of those. Let's say, for example, that through this 100 ads sprint that you're doing right now, you could have maybe 5 to 10 that end up being all good. They all get 4, 5, 6, 10 comments on there, all leads. So there's no point being like, yeah, I just personally preferred this one. No, you might as well test all of them and see what's it going to look like when you face them all together, right? But the thing that you're not going to do is what I was taught to do, which is, like, no matter what, always be putting down like £5 in testing per ad, even if it's terrible, and then just let the ad run for 7 days, and if you spend £30, £35 in a day, you get no leads, then go make another ad. That's like the worst advice that you can possibly have.
Yeah.
Especially right. So yeah, that should answer your question, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So as I was saying, like the main thing is to do your plan, do, and review. And so far you've already got your plan in place, which is like 100. So it's a good enough plan from the beginning. You've been doing some ads as well. So a good thing to start doing now is like actually reviewing your ads. Have you ever just sat down and reviewed your ads, or have you just been taking the action so far?
I've just been putting them out so far and seeing like what the reaction is like, I guess. Because
Yeah.
it's like I've not made that many. I've not put out that many yet. Let's say maybe a
Yeah.
week worth or just
No.
over a week.
That's still a decent amount. Like what I would personally do in terms of reviewing ads is like you can have a daily practice of how you review your ads. But if you are only putting out one per day, then doing it daily doesn't make that much sense. It might be better to review it every 7 days maybe and see sort of what's working best after that time period. So let's say that you are going to review it on day 7. Then the question is, okay, what does your actual review process want to look like? What do you want to be reviewing? And so again, like
Can't hear anything. Can't hear you.
is that working now?
Yep, that's better.
Okay. That's weird. I don't know why it's doing that. But if it does it again, I'll just have to switch my Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me now. Okay. I
Yep.
just had to switch my my microphone. But yeah, I was just saying that with the review process, the biggest mistake that people tend to make when it comes to reviewing their ads is that they will review the metrics more than they review the ad itself.
Mm.
So, in the beginning, you might be thinking to yourself, "Oh, this one got like 5 likes, 11 likes, 10 likes, or this one got 2 comments, 1 comment, 1 follow." All of that stuff in the beginning, you don't want to be worrying about that whatsoever, because the goal initially is to get yourself to be good at making ads. So the biggest question that you want to be asking yourself is, what actually makes the perfect ad?
A hook. The beginning. That's
Okay.
important.
Yeah. Why?
To get someone's attention, make them watch a little bit more.
Yeah. Having a good hook is definitely an important component of making a good ad.
And then taking them through like the stages of awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a call to action at the end.
Call to action. Okay. So what you've got there is the perfect anatomy of an ad.
Mm.
You got the skeleton. But like I could put out all of those things and I've been doing it and it's just my first day doing it versus someone who's been doing it for years. Do you think you'd see any difference between the two ads if I
Yeah,
gave them the same frameworks? Like what would you say would be the
the one
difference
with more
between
experience would sound more natural, more authentic, I think, because of the experience.
okay. So one of them would communicate in a way which was more um, confident,
Yeah.
confident and authentic. Yeah.
Mm.
Anything else?
Mm, I don't know. I think it will be a little bit more effortless for the one that has experience compared to the one that doesn't. And that should come through in, you'll be able to notice that, I think. No?
Yeah. What might give that away other than the way that they communicate?
Person with experience has more authority.
So the way that they show authority, you're saying, is not just through the communication, but it's through
Body language. Mm,
which is still part of communication, isn't it? Still a language.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, I don't know.
Okay. That's fine. So, do you remember the other day when we went through the levels of authority?
Ish, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Remind me.
Levels of authority. Let me see if I can share my screen so you can see the visual of this. Um,
I'm sure I'll remember when I see it.
Here we go. Here's the levels of authority. So level one is what we call positional authority. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So level one is what we call positional authority. And that's where people will follow you because of your title or your rank.
Right.
So, like, let's say you're a doctor, somebody would perceive you as the authority and listen to everything that you're going to tell them just simply because of the title. If somebody is a coach, certified coach, and they're working with a client, then somebody that's operating from this level, like people will follow them because of the simple fact that they call themselves a coach.
Yeah.
So the positional authority is the lowest level that exists. After that, we've got competence authority. So now you're an authority figure because like people can just simply see that you're skilled in what it is that you're doing.
Mm.
So if they can see you're skilled at it, they're like, oh, I want to learn from this person. They look like they've got skills. If you're communicating confidently,
Mm.
then the person, yeah, it would be great to learn from that person because they're more skilled than I am. And all of this is comparison to. So if you have a position, you're a doctor and somebody else is a doctor, you
Mm.
don't exactly have authority.
Yeah.
So if you have already got good communication skills and somebody else has not got communication skills, then like you then have that competence authority.
Mm.
Results authority, like, okay, now you got skills, but you got results as well. You know, when it comes to advertising, okay, maybe you got the skills, you can put out ads, you can make an ad, you can put some hooks together, you can say it well, but you have leads. And how many leads do you have?
Right.
Right. That's then the results authority. So after that, then you've got narrative authority. So, what story do you have around that, the meaning with it? So a person can have the results, but like, do you have the story that comes with it as well? Or did it just kind of
Yeah.
come easier? Um, energetic authority. So this is
Mm.
now authority felt through your actual presence. When
Yeah.
when you walk into a room, people feel it and they're like, "Wow, this person, they're an authority." They gravitate towards you. And again, it's like that energetic difference as well. So you might be like at a certain level of vibration, and somebody else walks into the room a lot lower than where you are. So you have that energetic authority. Mission authority is authority that's aligned to purpose.
Mm.
So if you're walking in your purpose and somebody else isn't, and they can feel that,
Yeah.
then they're gonna want to start following you. And then divine authority. This is where it's like authority, which kind of feels as though you've been divinely gifted that authority and chosen. So the people then put you in that position of, I have to follow this person, because if I don't, then it's disobedience to my divine authority.
Right.
So these are the levels of authority that you can possibly have. And I think last time that we did this, what you said is that, right now, you could see that, for yourself, this is where you feel like you are.
Yeah.
But maybe others don't necessarily see you like that currently. Um, so the thing is that you might feel as though, okay, I got a good story, or I've got the energy, I got the mission. But if you don't necessarily show the bottom foundational things as well,
Mm.
or you don't embody these things either, then it's almost as if none of these really matter. So a previous argument, like one could say, if you have mission authority, then it cancels out all of these. People will follow you no matter what. But I would actually say that you kind of have to complete each one of these in order to truly claim a level of authority, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you were talking about how for what makes the perfect ad, it would be somebody who has authority, and that can come through how they communicate. But if it's not through how they communicate, how could they show authority?
With these steps, isn't it? Like,
With the levels,
yeah, in the different levels, but like, do you show all of them, or just where you're at, or where you think you should be?
yeah, ideally, it wants to be all of them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Ideally, it should be all of
You
them,
know,
the combination
so
of them.
think like, how could right now you, or let me ask you a different question. Who would you say has this level of authority with you? Like you see them as an authority just simply because of their position.
In Enagic or just like in general?
And you could go with an adjective if you want.
I guess anyone with a title would have a certain level of authority, especially if it's not something I am familiar with, like a doctor, for example.
Yeah, but like an adjective's an easy one because it has a rank system.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So in
Yeah,
Enagic, then it's sort of based on rank because that person, just because of their rank, just tells you what they've been through to get there. They know what they're doing,
exactly.
obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. So if somebody's like, a certain rank, there could be a dash in the legacies. Someone's a 682-3. Would you say that they've got positional authority?
Yeah, definitely.
So this is the thing: is that how easy is it for that person to now show that positional authority by just either themselves saying it or being introduced, having it somewhere in their bio that it just
Yeah.
says 682-3. And you see how now, like, automatically that's authority to you. So you would then, if you're in their target audience, you would be seeing them how they need to be seen,
Yeah.
for you to have the perfect ad, right? So that's one way to see it. Now, another way to look at it is, okay, that's somebody who has authority with you, but who would you have positional authority with?
Someone with no rank. Yeah.
Someone with no rank.
Mm.
That's one way to view it. Yeah. And that's the way to view it. If where you will put yourself as an authority within is within, like, business.
Yeah.
So the biggest mistake that I'd say people make is putting themselves as an authority figure in the area where there shouldn't be an authority figure, because in the grand scheme of things, like the whole market, like you're not really that much of an authority,
Mm.
because you're only just the beginner within that.
Yeah.
And in terms of how much of the market will likely be seeing your position, rank, title as further ahead as to where they want to be is very low. That size of market, the likelihood is very low
Mm.
compared to in an area where you've been doing it for many, many years, and
Mm.
now, like, people, whoa, I wish I was at that level. So, the four main areas where you've got your major markets is we've got health, wealth, love, and happiness. Those
Right.
are the four main markets. So in the wealth market, like, if you was to just generically say, you're a business mentor as a position and title, how many people in the wealth market are really gonna see you as that gap? And they've got a sea of people who they're looking at. Would you say that people would see you as the business mentor?
No.
Not as much.
No.
But that doesn't mean that you're not an authority. It's just that maybe that shouldn't be the main market that you focus on in terms of, your authority status.
Mm.
So if we look at the other three, which of those do you feel as though you may have the most authority within, generally speaking?
The three at the bottom.
No, so the health, the love, and the happiness, like those three major markets.
Happiness.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 And I
I'd
think
say
this is
happiness.
I think this is what you're trying to link as well when we're looking at the mission authority is you're like, yeah, well, I think I see myself as that one because I feel as though I've got something that, it's my mission. I'm doing my purpose and I'm being paid for my purpose.
Hmm.
So that mission authority. But I'd say before we look at the mission authority, because you can have that for sure, we want to make sure that positional authority is spot on.
Right.
So when you think about how your specific kind of happiness can be defined, what would you describe it as?
Contentment, gratitude.
Contentment? Gratitude?
Hmm.
Anything else? I think another one that I've heard you say before is positivity. That's just one that
Yeah,
came to mind for me.
definitely positivity.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's actually a big thing because I remember back when I was like 6 or 7 years ago, in a place where I found myself in a negative environment, and
Mm.
the idea of positivity wasn't even something that I'd ever heard of before, and hadn't learned about. I went and started following positivity pages.
Hmm.
And through following positive pages, I followed my direct. So the guy that's my direct sponsor, he had a positivity page which just had quotes on it, and I followed that because I was like, yeah, I want to learn from whoever's got this page or this page specifically. And then he messaged me and said, "Do you want to start a business?"
Mm-hmm.
So that's how he made that connection there. So it
Right.
is an angle that you can go down, is like not specifically about attracting the business market, because when you do that and you're not an authority, what will end up happening is you'll attract a bunch of people who you'll be friends with,
Yeah.
but people that are not going to actually follow you and want to listen to you.
Right.
They won't take action with you, respect you as a leader. You'll get your fans and supporters, but you won't get people being like, "Yo, can I pay you?"
Mm. I see what you're saying now.
Yeah. And I'd
And to
say
be
the
honest,
biggest
it's like, even though I've been doing it because I feel like this is what I should be doing, but I don't feel, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not natural yet. You know what I'm saying? Like what I'm doing is, I don't feel like it's coming naturally because maybe it's this false sense of authority that I'm trying to portray. Like, you know, like I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm lying now, you know? So I
yeah.
shouldn't be doing this. I'm not like being truthful. And then it's like that naturally is gonna come through in the video or whatever, in the message that I'm putting out, right? And then I think, but like, how else I push this business forward? I need it to start like working now. If I'm not like selling the business, then what am I doing? Like, you know?
Mhm.
So I just
Yeah,
say,
because
okay, let's just keep doing it now because eventually it's gonna stick.
I think the biggest transition that you gotta make is, like, you have been in your content, like, putting out content to connect with people. So, let me reveal my framework, my ABCs of
Yes, please.
advertising. We have A for authority, B for belief, and C for connection. And so out of the three of these,
Belief and connection.
yeah, I would say that over this last entire year, you have just really refined and got it to a point of like real confidence of being able to connect with your audience, with people who are actually the type of women that you would want to be spending time with, like
Yeah.
that's what, if I look at the content that you've put out over this year, it's been connection content. And in general, like when they do marketing, they naturally gravitate towards connection content. It's just what
Right.
they're really good at. And men need to do a lot more connection content because
Not
when you look
natural.
at that, yeah, it's
Mm.
all like logical numbers, authority. Like that's the real masculine way of doing your content when you're putting it out there. It's like I need to be seen as an authority figure and like all this power and dominance and things like that. But the women, the women tend to just show themselves hanging out with friends or with their babies, and men need to do more of. So, um, there's the connection content that you've done really well with. But like I was saying, that ability that you have, being able to connect with your audience, it's not as if when you start selling, you stop doing that. No, you just start adding in other layers. So you continue doing what you're doing in terms of connecting with people, but you also add belief and you also add authority.
Mm.
Um, and with the switch that you want to make in terms of your mindset here is like rather than seeing it as you've got um, to sell the business, it's like shifting from not selling to now selling. Because before, I'd say that you'd been selling yourself just by connecting with people
Yeah.
in some way, or selling your community. And now the shift is going to be is like you're going to actually be selling the person in terms of you as a leader. That's one thing. At the moment, people probably won't see you as a leader the way that you haven't got that positional authority right yet.
Yeah.
But selling yourself as a leader and selling yourself, also selling what they need to believe in order to take action with you and forwards. Because when you look at James, Coach James,
Hey, James.
the
Salaam alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Salam wa rahmatullah. How are you guys okay?
We're
Alhamdulillah.
great.
Yeah, Happy
Good
New
to hear
Year.
your voice.
Greetings, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You too, guys. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Sorry, I'm just in the background putting the kids to sleep, so I always try to jump in when I notice the messages come through now. So I'm always here trying to jump in. But I'm here in the
I think
background.
Yasmin's in a similar position right now, which is why we don't see her face. She's
Yes.
usually putting
Sorry,
to bed
say
at this
again?
time. I said Yasmin's in a similar position. Like usually at this time of night, she's putting her kids to bed as well. So this is the call of the parents, is what it seems like. I'm the odd one out here. My my camera has decided to die on me.
So now no one's on there.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you though. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, there we go. I'm the odd one out for now, but I'll be following you guys real soon. He's left us. He's gone, but I'm sure he'll be. Oh, he's back. There we go. So yeah, good to have you here, James. We was starting off the still not so techie. Yeah, we'll get used to that. We'll get used to it. But yeah, we were just starting off the call by setting some intentions for the next 9-year cycle, because it's not just new year, but it's new 9-year cycle within numerology terms. And it's a big shift. Lots of new beginnings are going to be happening. Lots of new opportunities are going to be coming up. Lots of people transitioning into completely different seasons, vocations, careers, etc. We just had a guy on the beginning of the call saying that he got made redundancy after a long career of doing sales, and I think that's going to be a popular theme for this year. So yeah, after that, started to talk a little bit about advertising as well. I know I've seen you make a little bit of a transition from being a entrepreneur who has mostly done business the traditional way, and now starting to promote yourself online a lot more. I saw one of your WhatsApp stories today, and I've seen some of your content. And I think it's going to be good for you because you are someone that like the world needs, man. let's let's just be real. Like the world needs the purpose coach, and the biggest problem right now is that just not enough people know who you are, what you have to offer, and like how you can genuinely change their life. So I'm glad you've been taking my advice in terms of online promotions and starting to do that more. I've seen that. But now, like this specific call is going to be sharing the framework that I put together for advertising that I wish somebody gave to me when I first got started out. And it's really how you can just make this so simple enough that both of your kids right now, if you explained it to them whilst they're going to sleep, like you would literally be able to explain it to them. It's that easy. You'd replace doing reading of books to them, bedtime stories for ad time stories. That's what this would be, because it's as simple as ABC. So Yasmin, you've already heard the ABCs of advertising. Do you want to explain to James what are the ABCs of advertising?
Okay, so this is what I remember. So the A is for authority,
Yeah.
B is for belief,
hmm
and C is for connection.
Yeah.
But the authority needs to be based on where you are really an authority in. So on that level, not just like whichever level you think you are on.
Mm. And do you remember what I said about like the masculine and the feminine?
Yes. So the feminine find it easier to do the connection stuff, which I've been doing,
Yeah.
but not so much the authority and belief. And the masculine struggle with the connection, but they probably have more of the authority content.
Yeah. Yeah. Precisely. Um, that's exactly how I said it. Oh, James, you back? I think yeah, connection might be going in and out. But did you hear what Yasmin said there about the difference between the feminine and the masculine with how they will advertise usually? No. Okay. Do you want to explain that again, Yasmin?
So A is for authority, B is for belief, and C is for connection. The female or the feminine do the connection but better because it comes easier to females to do the connection content, and the masculine sort of lean towards the authority content.
That's right. Yeah. Um, so can you see that, by the way, by the two examples that we've got of the people on the call right now?
Yes.
The way that you're perceived, Yasmin, versus how
Yeah.
James might be perceived.
Yeah, absolutely. If I compare my content to like James and stuff, he's just like when he switches on, like when I switch on, like if his content pops up on my feed, like you stop and listen because you get this sort of feeling that this person knows exactly what they're talking about. You know,
Yes.
like that presence you were saying also. So he's got like
Yes.
those levels of authority like down.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. Now, another person who is really great with authority whenever he jumps on a call is someone like Carlton.
Yeah,
Like got that straight away. Damn, we should
yeah,
listen to whatever this guy's gonna say because it just sounds like authority.
yeah,
Um, but then sometimes he won't necessarily share his story, but like the way that he can be most persuasive is when he's actually truly connecting. So I remember with James, like it took a long time for us to get to the point of like me hearing what his story was. And when I did, I was like, whoa, like, the level of connection that we then had went to a whole different
mm,
place. Um, but this now begs the question of why is it that you think that the masculine will be reluctant to put out connection content, whereas the feminine is going to be reluctant to put out authority content. Why do you think it is that? Um,
generally because of the roles we play in like daily life. Like the women
mhm.
are more like the nurturers, and we have that connection comes easier. It's not something we have to like put much effort into. Also, like women are more emotionally intelligent.
women,
So
women, yeah.
yeah, and then the masculine on the flip side is like again I think the roles we play in daily life. Like men are more in the authority
Okay.
space compared to the females in their life. They have to sort of
Yeah. Can't minimize.
no, not only that's like they need to be seen as in charge and not weak.
Mm.
So for them, the authority sort of comes naturally.
Some naturally, some unnaturally.
No, that's what I think. And
Yeah, the majority.
Yeah. Idris, what were you saying?
I was saying for some it's natural, for some it's unnatural. But yeah, the majority, yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah. Um, so of course, like there's the exceptions to how this will
Mm.
play out. But this is why the wording I've used is very specific because I haven't said the male or the female, but I've said the masculine and the feminine.
Mhm.
So, like, I remember one of my guys that was in my organization, George. Um, like, when he would put out content, it was never authority content. It was always amazing connection content
Mm.
because he was a lot feminine naturally.
Into his feminine
So,
side.
yeah, yeah. And then you also have women who, they're like really in their masculine, and sometimes they will put out authority content.
There's a few
So,
women in magic like that.
yeah, there
Yeah.
is. And what tends to happen is they end up swinging the other way around because they get burnt out. And when they realize that I can't just be operating from my masculine as a woman, it's draining,
Yeah.
then they realize that there's a better way of operating, which is feminine based, but still has the authority that's within it. As like, when you look at the yin and yang, you know, you look at both sides of it. One side has full black, the other one full white, but both of them have a dot inside of them, right? That's how it wants to be. Where it's like it's based within what your natural expression and tendency is, but then you can dip into the other side. That's what it wants to be.
How do you
So,
do that though? That's the question.
what's the question specifically?
So,
How do we
so
do
like
it?
if I'm like more now, like you said, my content reflects more connection. How do I sort of tap into the other two, the authority and the belief?
Okay, that's a good question. So, I've just seen a couple of comments from James, so I want to quickly address these before I answer that question. James has said, "I think it's a safety and vulnerability issue. Content creators have the capacity and ability to fluctuate." Yes, yeah. So that's summarizing what I was just saying. So we'll talk about what the masculines and feminines issue is just after I answer this question. Then, so your question is, how can you actually tap into that other side where you may not naturally have the ability to, you know, speak about what's the authority-based content? And I think for me, what's worked well, because when I first started out, like it was all authority content. It was just value videos, and it was me just trying to teach all the time. And I'd say now, like that's kind of even what I'm leading with more than anything with my YouTube and the live videos, etc. All of this is majority of it. It's authority content.
Yeah.
So to go more into the connection content, I'd say one of the best things that you can do initially is like actually start learning from the other other extreme. So if you're masculine and a lot of the content that you're putting out is content which is authority based, and it's having that humility and being like, you know what, I want to be able to start connecting a lot more with my audience, building more community. Let me go and learn from some women about how they're really good at being able to put out their connection content. Because if you don't know even how they're thinking and what the difference is there, then you won't even have the philosophy, you won't have the psychology. I remember like one of the biggest game changers for me was when I was coming back from the Enagic event we had in Japan when I went out there in summer. And on the plane ride back home, I think that was the most valuable time that I got out there. Like that's what I really paid for in terms of value. And I sat next to someone who she was high rank within the business, similar age to myself. So I could see that both of us were very confident in our own way of like me being more so within sales, authority, etc. Whereas her was community, branding, and content. And she was just like a genius in her area, and I was a genius in mine. We sat together, found out, oh, we went to the same event, etc. And we just had a back and forth. And after that exchange, like it was really funny because the person that was sat next to us was like, yo, I was overhearing everything that you guys were saying back and forth, and he was like taking notes. this is incredible. And after I had that experience, like the way that I saw the game of marketing and content is like I just had loads of light bulbs that started to appear. So it's really starting to marry the two together. And when you have it externally, you're going to notice that as well. Like there's going to be some internal shifts that start to happen. Like this inner dialogue will change. So metaphysically, right? It's starting to actually communicate to like the different minds, the left brain communicating to the right brain. Because right now, if you're someone who is only connecting dominantly, then that's your emotional brain that's leading. It's
Yeah.
not your logical brain. So it's like thinking from advertising from a logical perspective. And it's like what I would then recommend is if you're not naturally someone who is adept at thinking logically, like you mostly think emotionally, which is what women tend to do naturally, then you want to actually start studying logic more.
I
Like this is
wouldn't say
genuinely
I'm.
something
I think I'm balanced in that,
I think
logical
both
and
of you
emotional.
all right now, like you guys are both balanced. Like I
Yeah.
don't think James is completely out of touch with his emotions, and I don't think Yasmin, you're completely out of touch with your logic.
Mm.
I just think that the way that you express yourself online
Mm.
is like you'll do it in the way that you're comfortable, which is the emotional. And James will do it the way that he's comfortable, which is the logical.
Yeah.
Makes sense? So this is another thing as well. Is like the more that you extend your comfort zone online, the more that you'll notice that you'll be able to do the things that you're not as naturally competent within. So I give another example of this. Like I used to play sport, and one of my favorite sports, tennis. So whenever I would play, like in practice, my forehand and backhand, like if you looked at me in practice, you'd be like, yo, this guy's forehand and backhand, both of them solid. Looks like the perfect player. But that was because I was very comfortable. Then when there were things that were at stake and it was a competition, people watching, and like I don't get any more chances. This is it. Then the forehand would become the thing that I would lean most upon and depend on. But the backhand was like it would start slicing the ball a lot more, and start being a little bit more defensive, a little bit more just trying to get the ball in rather than being aggressive with it. Why was that the case? It's because I wasn't as comfortable in those pressure moments.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say is another big thing as well. Is like the question you'd be asking is, how can you, really start to alleviate more of
Yeah.
that pressure with when you're showing up online, which is why, like, if right now the way that you're showing up is in a way where it's not breaking through those barriers, things that you're most afraid of with what you could be doing online, like you should be doing some of that stuff. So there's two types of ways that you can get results within your advertising. It's going to be either through generating leads and bringing in new potential customers, growing your brand, etc. So those are all like solid metrics. But then another thing is how much are you growing in terms of your personal growth? And if you just look at, okay, what am I most afraid of doing online? And you go do that stuff, then your scope in terms of what you'll feel comfortable talking about online as well, like that will start to shift as well. Like nothing will feel like pressure. And I think for yourself, you experienced it. Like one of the biggest things that allowed you to start posting consistently on social media was when you did an actual live on
Yeah.
Facebook. Because once you did that live, it was like, I if I'm able to go live and talk, then I'm fearless. I can literally speak about anything.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. That probably it's a comfort thing. Like where are you feeling most comfortable? When you extend that zone of comfort, the more you'll be able to start fluidly going from one to the other.
I think people do right, to be honest. Now that you mention it, but like
Say
maybe short ones. I don't. I feel like I
Until you
get
get
tongue tied
comfortable.
again. You know, when if I had to press the live button and I know what I want to say in my head,
Just let it
but
naturally
like when I put the camera on, I might stumble and I'll not remember what I
That's
wanted to
that's fine.
say.
something that
This is
will
what I'm
happen.
saying. Is like if you see it like,
It's a character
okay,
read.
the goal of this is to make the perfect live video, then you're already shooting yourself in the foot. That's not the goal.
Perfect. I mean, I know I'm not gonna be perfect, but like I don't want it to be that bad that the message gets lost and it's just like I just forgot everything I wanted to say.
I think you should intend to do bad content like in the beginning.
Hmm.
And this is even what like Jordan Peterson talks about with the way that every person has to grow within their field, is that the fool is always the precursor to the savior. Nobody wants to be the fool, but
Hmm.
it's literally being the fool that you become the savior. So you should like go and do foolish things for a little while, and then let that make you into becoming the savior. And if all you're doing is things that you're comfortable with, then there's no extension of comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's just staying the same size and might even be shrinking. So like you going and starting to do ads, because I know you weren't comfortable doing that,
Yeah.
that's extension. That's great. Now the next thing could be live ads. And you know what? That's actually the future of online online marketing. So much so that like during the Christmas time, I spent some time with my uncle, and he's there showing me like all the things that he's buying from not eBay or Amazon, but TikTok, right? And he's going TikTok shopping where people are going live and they're just literally promoting their physical products and being like, yo, this does this. People are asking questions on the live, like, and they're answering it in real time. And my uncle's buzzing over it because not only is he getting a good price, but he's also able to have that connection with the people, which you don't get on eBay. So he's just been buying loads of stuff, and he's loving it. So this isn't just something that he was telling me. This is also something that Gary Vaynerchuk, who is like big authority within marketing, prophesizes what's going to happen. He's been saying it too. Like live shopping is going to be the next big mega trend with
I
marketing.
did hear him say that in one of his, I think it was on Facebook or something, his posts. He did say that. I remember that now. Live
Exactly.
shopping, yeah, something like that. Yeah, live marketing.
Live marketing, live shopping. So, you don't have to have your product in there all the time, but think about it. Like, what if you're trying to sell an ebook and you had a physical copy? If you just were talking about it and you physically had it in your hand, like the entire time, it's the exact same experience, but it's just, like live talking about what it is that you're sharing. If you are doing it in a way where, like, you've got a webinar, if you have a live webinar experience, that's always going to convert better. And that's what we were doing like last year when we'd have people come onto our presentations. Like, we would do a live presentation with them, and then they were more likely to pay attention, convert, because they got to ask questions, etc. So live ads, like, to view it that way, that's the best skill that you can learn within it. And your live ads, think about it. Like, if you're trying to do a live ad, it can go on as long as you want it to go on for, and all you're going to try and do is convey belief, show authority, and connect.
But like, what would you say? Like, you've seen some of the ads I put out now for the last week. I think it's only been about a week or so. Like the messaging in there, is that fine, or should I like change
So
it?
what we'll pull up a couple of ads to actually look at, and I'll show you some stuff. But I'm just seeing James's comment here as well. Is this also applicable to me trying to grow my app users? I'd ask the question first, James, is like, how have you currently been how have you currently been generating leads for the app? Has it mostly been through Bark? Or have you got leads from anywhere else? That's one thing I'd say ask to begin with. But then the simple answer to that question is yeah, 100%. Like if you have people that are gonna be wanting to, join your online community, because that's what it sounds like. It's an online community. Then online ads is definitely going to work really well. So it's been through my network mostly, but I haven't used social media as effectively. Okay. So I think the thing for yourself is like when you actually have this mindset shift, because that's how I can see it with yourself right now. I don't think it's a skill issue so much for you. I think it's a mindset, because you still have like that kind of traditional business owner entrepreneur's mindset of tapping into the network and reaching out to the warm audience, etc. There's nothing wrong with doing some of the old school stuff in marketing, but right now to me, it doesn't really make sense to learn more about it and go all in that direction on its own. I think it's a good complement to doing stuff online as the main focus and strategy. So the thing is, initially, it's about looking at like the difference between putting in effort and work versus leverage. So I've talked about this before, but do any of you two remember what the 4 C's of leverage are?
Please,
The 4
compared with these
C's.
acronym things.
What's that, Yasmin?
Compared with these.
Bad with remembering
Yeah,
like
these like these. Yeah.
important stuff.
Yeah.
I'm I'm
Like give
I'm
me
I'm
the
really good.
practical side of it. I'll be remember, but like to remember like names and acronyms and
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not good at remembering. So what I do is I write stuff down, and then when I have it written down, I'm able to teach from it, and that can become content for myself as well, like as I'm doing right now. So here's the 4 C's of leverage. You want to write this down. The 4 C's of leverage is you've got number 1, which is collaboration. So one of the things that like worked really well for me and James was when we were doing sales calls, like any people that we had on a call that we did it together with, I think we had 100% success rate. They would always close. Why? Because it's literally 2 people's belief against 1 person's. So even if ours is both 60% and theirs is 80% believing that they don't need it, like it's 120% they lose, or they win by buying our product. But that's through collaboration. So collaboration is the first one, collaborating with people. Then the next one that you've got is code. So code, like code, CODE. You're talking about having an app, right? An app is just code. That's all it is. And your code can come in different forms, but like the highest form that we've got right now in terms of leverage is actually combining code with collaboration. Because if you're leveraging code to collaborate, it's almost like digital humans. And now you've got these AI and algorithms that are on your side, right? So at the moment, if you're doing everything all by yourself, you got this self-employed mentality. It's like, I don't think there's anything too wrong with that. But the best transition that you can make is becoming a business owner. So what's the biggest difference between a self-employed person and a business owner?
Business owner manages other people that are doing the actual work.
Business owner manages other people. So you're saying that the business owner essentially has like employees or anything else, any other way you put
Yeah.
it.
Responsibility.
Employees and
Capital.
leverage, isn't it? Like, yeah. Leveraging the
Leverage.
capital, leveraging the everything.
Yeah. Leverage.
Yeah.
So traditionally speaking, from before, like if you wanted to have a business, then you would have literally have had to have like people as your main employees.
Yeah.
And then the next era came in, which was we went from just an era where people were like working for other company owners to now the people started to make machines, physical machines,
Yeah.
right?
Industrial
So
revolution.
exactly, the industrial era was when the machines came in. So a business would become more technically efficient if they had more machines. And if you didn't have
Mhm.
machines in your business, you were just going to fail. Like
Yeah.
imagine right now in a business and you don't have a laptop, you don't have a phone.
Yeah.
Like
You
it's just
can't compete. Yeah.
there's just no way. So the the thing was is that it was the first time where leverage became not just about duplicating yourself as a human being, but it became about duplicating with a machine that has a capability of certain skills that a human being can do,
Yeah.
right? And the era after that was like an era where there was the digital era,
Yeah.
online era. And now, like, instead of having a physical machine, now you've actually got these digital machines. That's what code and collaboration is. That's what AI is. They're digital machines, the digital algorithms.
Yeah.
So when you start using more code to help you, like you don't just want to use it in one area, which is fulfillment. Because I know that like James, like one of the things that you're naturally great at as a entrepreneur is you're more of like an artist more than anything, I would say. And the thing about entrepreneurship is that entrepreneurship, it thrives where artists can express themselves creatively. And your art form is how you coach a person.
Mm.
And the biggest problem with most artists in entrepreneurship is that they don't do the other side of it as naturally, or they don't think about that stuff as quickly. Because an entrepreneur is just an artist that knows sales and marketing. That's it. So you may be doing these things right now, but you might not have necessarily delegated as quickly to your digital machines. So how you currently delegated to the digital machines has been through making an app that can actually take people through and do some basic things that you would normally do with them one-to-one, but now it's doing it through code within the app,
Mm.
right? So the next thing is going to be how can you actually start delegating some of the work to these digital machines when it comes to your sales and marketing? Right? Are you with me so far? Like, I know I've been speaking a lot, but is this making sense?
Yeah, bro, for sure. I'm here. That makes sense. For sure.
Yeah. So when it comes to the marketing aspect specifically, it's like the digital machine that you have at your fingertips. And here's the thing, by the way, it is free to be using. Currently, it doesn't cost anything, but this digital machine is what everybody refers to as the algorithm.
Yeah.
And what the algorithm, when it first came out, was able to do, when it first came out, it was able to kind of like guess at being able to find out who would be the best people to connect you with in terms of your target audience that you're looking after. But more so what it would do is just connect you with people that have been engaging with your content and building within your tribe. So social media back then was actually social media. It was who was in your network, who you'd
Mhm.
connected with. But now there's been a big transition from social media to what's now being called interest media. And the
Right.
reason why
Yeah.
it's called is because the algorithm has improved. So no longer is it just an algorithm that is going to connect you with people in your social network, but it's actually going to connect you with people that are genuinely interested in everything that you're interested in. And
Oh,
what it,
interesting.
yeah, what it feeds off of is data. And so
Mm.
the more data that you give this algorithm on yourself, on who you're looking for, like this is why one of the things that I would do in all my ads from the very top of the ad, I would just make it simple for the algorithm. Because you got to look at it like it's the same way that you train and teach a team of people. If you give complex instructions to a new employee, a staff member, it's not their
Mhm.
fault that they're not getting results. It's your fault that you didn't break it down in a simple way where
Interesting.
they could. So if I was teaching a salesperson, for example, to go and knock 100 doors and I want you to speak to a specific person, and I tell the person that I just want you to speak to women. That's it. That is direct, it's simple, easy. But if I started saying stuff like, I want you to speak with people who are a little bit shorter, people that, the people that like spending time with kids, they are gonna, be a lot softer, etc. Like it's just too vague. Whereas if I just have a title for it, simple, straight away, okay, I'm just gonna go after the women. So that's why on my ads, like I would just have a title that was, 2 to 3 words of my target audience. And then exactly who would come through on the lead sheet would be literally someone that reflected that. Because it was simple for the algorithm to be like, oh, health conscious hustlers. I know everyone that is a health conscious hustler. Why? Because I've been given so much data from people who are every single day scrolling, giving me their attention and showing me what they're interested in. So in the beginning, when people weren't really using social media that much, the algorithm didn't have that much data. Now the algorithm has literally got like an endless amount of data on a person. It literally knows more about a person than they probably know about themselves.
Mm. So
The
are
only
you saying
thing
like
that
you put those keywords now in every single ad? Like,
for yourself,
yeah,
like if you know who you are as an authority, right? Then it's two things when you come to positional authority. It's like, hey, I'm Yasmin, and I am the like the mum's coach. For example, I'm not saying you should say this. I am the mum's coach, authority, and specifically who I help is Muslim mums,
right.
target. So if I say that directly in my ad, the algorithm will see it and be like,
Okay.
easy.
I know who to send this to.
Yeah. So that's the um, the demographic aspect of like if you tell the algorithm who you want. This is why, like for me, in my bio, I spent more time on my bio recently than I have anywhere else in terms of like thinking of
Right.
what do I want to write. Why? Because I'm like, if I summarize my page and my bio, one thing I know is that 90% of people that actually jump on my profile um, will only spend 90% of their time on looking at my bio. They won't actually scroll anywhere below. Only 10% of people will scroll below the bio.
Yeah.
So no, that's like that's one aspect, and then the second aspect is um, if I have the summary of my profile in the bio section, then when the algorithm is looking at like, who should we actually send some of the suggested content to, it's going to be anyone who will jump onto this profile and be likely to stay on the profile. Because if they initially, as a first impression, see that, yeah, this is someone who's an authority that I connect with and someone that I believe in what they're offering, then they'll actually go through the rest of the stuff too.
Right.
So here's what I'm saying is like within your content, your live videos, everything, this is why like ads can now become a lot less scripted, more real, more authentic, is because you have an algorithm that is listening to every word that you're feeding it and then will show that content to a person who they think is going to actually enjoy it.
Mm.
So, which is why, like, if you look at the videos that I've been putting on YouTube as of recent, so this isn't just theory. This is actually stuff that is proven. I've had people comment on these YouTube videos where I've got to say, like, some of these people are like, "Whoa, you could be my soulmate." Like, we have got so many things in common, similar values, etc. And there's multiple of these people, and they're commenting on the videos and being like, "Yo, I love this value so much. Where's this guy been? And this is like my algorithm has actually helped me for once." But it's not the algorithm. It's what I've given to the algorithm. Because the problem
Right.
is that right now with social media, everybody's using social media and giving data to the algorithm about who they are, which is helping other advertisers to get their money's worth. But what they're
Yeah.
not doing is they're not giving information to the algorithm who is working for them for free 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
not
yeah.
giving,
I never really thought about it that way, to be honest.
you see, mindset shift.
Yeah.
They're not giving information to this algorithm who is going to work for them for free about who they want the algorithm to bring to them.
Yes.
That's what they're doing. So it's literally like if you think about who this algorithm is as well, it can connect you with your soulmate, like your soul client avatar. It can connect you with that person from anywhere in the world at any time and like bring you people who are the dream clients, which is why you want to show yourself as someone who is um, that authority, as I was saying, but like actually give the algorithm uh, the information that will make it easy for the algorithm to pull those people towards you. So you may be able to look at like who's been coming to your profile recently and be like, oh yeah, I've been getting some mums come, I've been getting some like Muslim women come as well, which is because that's what you've given to the algorithm.
Mm.
But it's now about like actually thinking bigger with it in terms of how much you can potentially like connect with your ideal audience. And another way to view it too is see the algorithm as if it's a human being, number one, or a machine.
Yeah.
See the algorithm like it's like running to different corners of the planet for you for free and getting on planes, etc., inviting people to come see your content. That's how you're going to see the algorithm, like number one. So you can see the value and how much you're leaving on the table by not actually giving tons of data and information to the algorithm daily. But the second thing that I would say is that you want to see the people on the platform, the views as actual people.
Mm.
Because two things will happen there. One is that you'll have a new sense of appreciation for the views that you're getting on your videos. Like if you have 10 views, 20 views, 30 views, 60 views, you'll be like, holy shit, I've got a room full of people, of everyone that's actually here listening to me speak and enjoying it. When you're getting likes, imagine it's like people that are clapping at what you're doing, giving you a standing ovation. when you're getting a comment, imagine it's like somebody who is actually like responding to you and you're having a dialogue with them back and forth on a stage. Like that's how you kind of want to view it. So that's one thing. But then the second thing that it will do is actually uh, prevent you from just putting out random content that's going to attract anyone. Because then what's going to happen is like you'll visualize yourself having 1,000 views, and maybe it's just like a bunch of creepy guys that
Mm.
you all have the gawping at you and are not actually there to learn from you, but are just there for some other reasons. Like that's the last thing that you want. And if you
Yeah.
can visualize that as well, like then you're going to be a lot more intentional with the kind of content that you're putting out. And you'll just notice that the quality of people that are gravitating towards you are going to be, so much more aligned, is the best way I can put it. So, yeah, that's the second aspect of leverage, which is the code. And you actually mentioned a third aspect, but before I do that, I need to plug my charger in. I actually thought it was plugged in, but it isn't. Is this limiting? Is this giving you any paradigm shifts?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. It's just making me think though, like maybe with the messaging, I've been trying to like sort of put whatever I can think of that should be in there and get it in a short time as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to be as efficient, trying to make them as efficient as possible. But
What
somewhere
do
I'm losing maybe the one of those authority levels, I guess.
So, like, authority is not about the um, it's not about the length of the video. If you today went and made a video that was an hour long on business, when you know that like business isn't your area of authority and expertise,
Mm.
then that's not going to solve your problems just by having a video that's an hour long. So
Yeah.
the length of time doesn't necessarily make you an authority, but it's more so the things that I was showcasing before in terms of like those levels, the starting with position all the way to the top. It's like it's your leadership in that area. Now, how does time help in terms of like long form content? How I like to do live long form content. How does this help?
Mm.
The number one thing that it does is it actually just allows me to put out a lot more volume with my content. Because whilst you may be spending 2 hours on a weekend making a bulk amount of ads for the entire week, think about it from the viewer's perspective. How much content did they get to consume out of that? Maximum, if you've got 7 videos that are 1 minute long, they get to consume 7 minutes of content. Now, will they watch all of those videos in full? Maybe not. And so if they only watch 50% on average, that's a 3-minute maximum that you have per person. There's 3 minutes of content. Versus if you did within those 2 hours, like you did maybe 7 lives each day. You could still do a batch bit of content if you wanted to, maybe do an hour. But you did like a live a day, just for 10 minutes, where you do the exact same thing that you're regularly doing. You connect, you build authority, you show authority, and then you also build belief in what it is that you're offering. Then people now have gone from having, maybe 7 minutes of potential watch time to they can tune in for potentially 70 minutes. And if a person's spending half of that time with you, which is 35 minutes a week, imagine how much of the relationship is actually going to be built and progressed in comparison. And that's all you're doing is you're in business, you're taking people from being strangers to then becoming friends, and then from friends to becoming family members. And I'm telling you, like, the way that I communicate with my guys on YouTube, the ones that are commenting, watching this, like, they feel like they're part of my family already. I've only been doing this for a short while, but compared to how they connect with most of the people that they will do on like these short form platforms, like, it's a different level of relationship that's being built because of time shared with each other. Think about in your current relationships right now. Could you imagine getting married after 3 minutes?
No.
Right. So the more dates that you start going on, the more that you actually give opportunity to, get to know the person, get to see who they are like, and who they're not, and what are their flaws, etc. That's how you transition from just being able to get people in for low ticket, or just leads, to now you've got high ticket clients that are wanting to work with you very quickly because
You've
you've
already invested that time.
yeah, it's an exchange. It's an
Yeah.
exchange. It's like, you've given me all this value up front. Now, let me just give you some money for what I've already paid for. So the perceived value of anything you offer in the future is increased as well.
Mm.
And the general rule of thumb is that right now, if you're running an online business and you want to sell something that's mid-ticket or high ticket, then it requires 7 hours for them to digest of your content before they actually go and make a high ticket decision. 7 hours. And if you only have like 3 minutes for them to digest on a weekly basis, them to get to that point of fully going through 7 hours, it's not going to happen with you. You have to leverage. And if you're leveraging somebody else's content, you're sending them other people's videos. This is what, like, I hated doing. Every time I would do it, it was me promoting other people's videos instead of my own. I was like,
Yeah.
there's a video on advertising, there's a video on communication, and I'm sending them to somebody else's video, and I'm like, I'm working for that person for free. I'm not getting anything in return there,
Mm.
apart from, like, this person gets educated, but it's not exactly like completely working on my relationship with them. The only time where I'd want to leverage another person's videos is if I have no engagement with them. If it's just leads that are going through their own courses and self-investment because they're not in contact with me, and then by the time they actually do have a conversation with me, they're a better person because of it. I give you a great example of that, actually. One of the first ever leads that I got, her sister, the twin sisters, her sister was someone that, she wasn't really too much into business. She always wanted to have a business, but she didn't feel like she was ready to work with me back when we first knew each other. And then earlier on this year, like, she went through the experience of hiring a coach that was going to help her with business fundamentals, foundations, and they basically taught her how to set up a Instagram profile, Facebook, how to like some of the terminology or whatever. But aside from that, she got barely anything from it. And so when she came back to me, we had a conversation. She was like, "Wow, you know, for everything that you're offering compared, this is incredible. I'm glad that I went through this other person's course because
I can
it's helped."
appreciate yours, yeah.
But at the same time, like, you know, I'm ready, and
Yeah.
I didn't have to nurture her to get to that stage, which is why leads always go up in value the way that I see it. Like, it's not something that goes down in value. The more that you have the leads, they go up in value because nurturing doesn't always happen through you. Life nurtures them, other people nurture
Yeah.
them, and
Yeah.
that's all. But personally, I don't want to promote another person's video if I'm actually speaking to them. If I'm in a sales dialogue, if I'm in a conversation, I want to be promoting my own content. So the more of that I have, like, imagine if I had like one of the guys that I've been listening to a lot recently, and I used to listen to him a little bit back in the day because Carlton used to send me his videos, and I was like, oh yeah, these are good whenever he'd send them. But recently, I've actually just been digesting a lot of his content, and that is a guy called Miles Monroe. James probably is someone who's heard of Miles Monroe. He's a little bit of um, an older guy. He's dead now, so he's not alive, but he's an amazing guy. And um, let us know in the comments, James, if you've heard of Miles Monroe. If you haven't, highly recommend checking out some of his stuff. But crazy thing about Miles Monroe is this guy's dead, and I feel like if I was to watch his videos for the next like year every single day, I would always have not just "I'm glad you said of course" there.
Mhm.
Uncle Miles, yes, yes, yes.
Well,
He's you'll love him, Yasmin, as well. He's something else.
Miles Monroe.
Miles Monroe, yeah, amazing. One of the best teachers. So the thing with Miles is like even before content online was a thing, he had content that he was recording in his like events. So imagine he would just do events like every week, flying around the world, and he would always record them. So then when he died, like they just released a YouTube channel with all of the recordings from
Videos,
the
yeah. Wow.
from the talks that he would do, and each one of them is like an hour and a half long. So if he, for example, had something that was high ticket right now, I would be someone that would definitely qualify based off of what I'm describing there with regards to 7 hours before,
Mm-hmm.
because I've watched like a lot of hours.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't even be able to if he just did like short form clips that were all gold and he had that authority. I wouldn't have this level of relationship with him because he wouldn't even be giving me the opportunity to put those out there, you know. And I also don't think that if all of his content was content that was like highly edited content, I think there'd be absolutely no way that I would be able to or he would be able to release in the amount of volume as he has done.
Mm-hmm.
James has said in the same league as Les Brown. To be honest, the more that I've been watching him, I'm like, this guy in the contents of what he offers, I think it's in a different league. But in the delivery, I get what you mean. Like it's Les Brown level. Give me one sec. My cat's entered the room. Take that. Okay. So yeah, what were we talking about that led us to this topic? Oh, leverage. Went all the way.
Yeah.
So we've got collaboration, then there is code. So we understand now, like, everybody on the call is highly underutilizing the free code that you all have that can be working for you round the clock. And the cool thing about it as well, this is another thing to appreciate, is that, let's say, for example, you made one video and you gave to that one video like an hour's worth of content, live content. The algorithm doesn't just work whilst you are live. The algorithm also works whilst you're not live. So if you made, like, another great example, Miles Monroe, the algorithm is working for him whilst he's not live, and it's also working for him whilst he's not alive as well.
Mm.
Real legacy content. Because even whilst he's not alive, it's still pushing out his content because he's just set it to work. And once he's set it to work, it will continuously work. So this is great, especially if your message is a message where it's going to stay relevant over time,
Mm.
because it's a timeless message. So some messages, like, it's people putting out the news, or, I mean, sometimes the news is timeless, but it's relevant to the time, but it's not exactly relevant for all time. When you put out stuff that's relevant for the time it's trending, then you might get high views right there and then, but it doesn't compound over time.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, sometimes if you are putting out this value-based content that's long form, you might be feeling as though this isn't worth it, for everything that I'm putting, because you're not seeing an immediate return.
Mm.
Imagine, like, one of your videos goes viral after doing 100 of them. They're all an hour long. One of them goes viral. What do you think all those people are going to want to do? They're going to go and watch every single bit of content that you've ever made.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that has happened. Like, not on such
Yeah.
a big scale, but I have seen that.
Because you've probably done that too. You found a creator that you really connect with, you really like.
Yeah, I've done that. I know I've done that. Yeah.
You see
That
their
is
video
different.
now, and then you go and watch all the previous content.
Mm.
So the worst thing to happen is, like, one of my friends, he's just created a YouTube channel, and, like, it's literally had a viral video that I think it was like one of his 20th videos or something. It was not that many, but he had a viral video, and it went to like 80,000 views on YouTube, and he didn't even have an offer. So he got 80,000 views, but it paid him nothing because there was no offer set up, there was no funnel, there was no ecosystem. So all
Right.
the views, like, yeah, it's good, but and then after he got that 84,000 views, people then did start to watch his other videos as well.
Mm.
They came to the channel like, oh yeah, this is good. Like, we'll go and watch the other stuff. So the biggest regret that you'll have is that you go viral and you don't have enough content for people to consume and digest after you got like that one viral video. It's like one of the biggest kicks in the face that you're going to have. And the other one is that you don't have your offer and ecosystem set up. Now, for both of you, you have spent a lot of time on the offer and the ecosystem, the delivery, the fulfillment. It's tight, I'm telling you, compared to anything that I've sold in the past, or just other people in terms of what they're pushing out there. Like, there's so much crap that's out there, man. Like, I think you should just go buy other people's offers, and you'll just feel so good about what you truly have and have so much pride within it. Because James, your coaching and your experience, like, it's so high level, you just don't appreciate it because you
You're not on
have,
the receiving end.
yeah, not so much on the receiving end, but you go buy a kid's course is like 25 years old or whatever, just made a little bit of money online, and now is selling a coaching package for $5,000, and is barely giving any value whatsoever, just better at marketing. Go
Mm.
and see what you have, and you'll be like, what I have is value. It's real. The same thing for you, Yasmin. Like, you on your own with all your life experience, as well as the leverage that you have and just everything that you offer, It's value. That's not the issue. The issue is just, people haven't got enough opportunity to build a relationship with you, and the algorithms don't have enough opportunity to go and work for you.
Mm,
So that's a code, that's a collaboration, and it also feeds into content. So content is another C. It's the third C.
right.
Because what you're doing with content really is you're actually having conversations with people where you are not physically present. You're digitally present. It's having the same effect of connecting with people. And through your digital presence, imagine you've got 100 videos and there are 1,000 people watching each of the 100 videos. That would be the equivalent of hosting 100 events all around the world to 1,000 people in each room. That's what you're doing when you have your digital presence and people are watching it, watching your content. Could you imagine trying to replicate that physically? How difficult it would be?
Yeah.
But you can have that kind of influence through your content. So content is a way where you can just simply get that message out there, and be in multiple places all at once. It's the best thing for marketing and for sales. So content is the 13, and the final C is capital. That's where you're using fuel to give the algorithm some weight. But another way to view it is it's like almost as if, let's say that the quality of algorithms that you can choose from goes from free to then here's a £100 per day algorithm, here's a £1,000 per day algorithm, here's a £10,000 per day digital machine. And the more money that you give, the higher quality of algorithm that you get working for you, as well as the higher in quantity. So you might be able to buy like 10 of them. At the moment, when it's the free version, you're just getting one free.
Yeah.
But if there's 10, 20, like you could be getting a lot more, as well as high quality ones as well.
Right.
So those are the 4 C's of leverage. And knowing this now, it's like, James, if you was to try to scale what you've got going on right now, which is working for you as an individual, but let's say your goal financially, I don't know exactly what it is, but long term, because we were setting 9-year goals, 9-year intentions, I'd say in the next 9 years, if you're not doing 100 grand a month, then something went wrong in these years, like severely. Especially when I know like there's kids who are 20, mid 20s that I've met that are doing like almost 100 grand a month. There's just no way. Like something definitely went wrong. So if you think about scaling what you've got currently right now, which is speaking to a network of people and like just communicating with them to get them on the app, could you imagine scaling the current client acquisition system that you've got? Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's the scalability of what you've got going on, because again, the biggest mindset shift that people tend to have is they see their business for what will work now in the present moment. But one of my gifts is vision. I see things in the future. So if it works right now, it's great. Like as a self-employed person, yeah, of course, you can, tap into your network, have some people that'll do referrals, word of mouth. All that stuff is great for setting a good, solid foundation. Like, that will show you that you have an offer that people want, that works, and that makes money. Like, that's what it shows. But once you have that, to then scale through leveraging those 4 C's of content, capital, code, and collaboration, there's just no way that you can outpace a person that's using these tools. Because when you think about what leverage really is, leverage is essentially, it's the inputs, or sorry, outputs over inputs. So you want to get the highest output for the inputs that you're putting in.
Mm.
And right now, in terms of what you're putting in, like, you'll be putting in time, energy, and money. That's your own time, energy, and money. And what's missing, as you've worded it there, what's missing is putting in the time, energy, and money of either other people or other algorithms and AI. That's what's missing. When you think about how you've been tapping into your network, asking around, etc., that's, at best, when it comes to leverage, it's collaboration. Old school.
Mm.
New school. Content, code, and I mean, capital is old school as well, but combine all of these together, the content, code, game changer. And it's so easy to implement, but it's like, it's just seeing what you have at your fingertips, almost visually. I guarantee you, if there was an actual humanoid robot that was delivered to you, that you could see physically, and on it said like content machine, or it's not content machine, but like lead generator, or it said message machine. I will put your message out there to an infinite amount of people. Just turn me on, plug me in, and I will do it as long as you put out that content. I go to work. If you could physically see it and what it was willing to do for you, you would put out content, a lot of it. But because it's like, it's digital, it's out there, you don't see it, then you just don't see that it's even real. That's the big thing. And it becomes a lot more real as well when you start getting results from it, when you start using it. So here's what I would say there now is like, okay, so you've got the mindset that's there in terms of seeing the value of leverage and leveraging those tools. But now it's about looking at actually getting in the volume required. So what I said for myself last year was, I looked at, like, over the last 5 years, because I'm quite fortunate. When I got into business, it was straight into the digital era. And I started off my journey the first year, and I probably put out like maybe an hour's worth of content in terms of all the videos that I made. The year after that, started doing a couple of webinars, put out maybe 5 hours worth of content, 10 hours maybe. And then it got to a point where I was recording and making way more content, like 40 hours, 50 hours. And I think last year, especially when I had this epiphany, I was like, oh, I just got to do more volume, and the income will reflect that. Last year, towards the end of the year, especially, like doing my 4-hour videos and things like that in the last couple of months, within 2 months, I've made more content than I did in the entire 5 years.
Mm.
And the quality of leads that are and people that are watching this now is complete difference. It's almost like I'm somewhat starting from scratch, but like the difference is night and day difference because of what I'm feeding the algorithm, right? So what you want to do is you want to set an intention for this year in terms of, how much content are you going to actually give to this algorithm to help it, to train it, give it the data, that it needs, that it requires. And as you do that, then like you can say that, okay, maybe over a 365-day period, you're just going to commit to like maybe half an hour a day. I know, especially someone like yourself, you have so much to offer and give. Half an hour a day would be simple, but easy, too easy. But in terms of time constraints, like, yeah. And the biggest objection that you're gonna have is like, I don't have the time to do this. Of course you got the time. Of course you do. You just do it in the middle of other things. Whilst you're putting your kids to bed, like that's maybe not the best time, but on the school run, you know, you do a live video. Yasmin now, like she does videos with her kids in them. And
Yeah.
if you think like the biggest content creators out there, like people like Alex Hormozy, people like Grant Cardone, they have their whole family in the background whilst they're making content, whilst they're doing lives, etc. Because it's just a part of their life now. It's become a lifestyle. That is the lifestyle of doing the mission.
I just feel like I would get stuck and not know what I want to say. That's my biggest fear with going live, is that it's not something that comes natural to me
Ego work.
to just speak.
Do you think it came natural to me?
No, probably not. Because I'm like in that introvert way. Like with the making the videos is different, because I have a script and maybe I change the words or whatever just to make it sound more like me. But
Mm.
it's it's prepared. You know what I'm saying? I've done like a prep before I actually. Now when it's live, you feel like shit. I'm not gonna say what I need to say, and then I'm just gonna look like an idiot. So might as well not.
Yeah.
And then you
So
say like speak for half an hour. I'm like, oh shit, but now that's about too long. Why do I stay for half an hour?
I get that. Like the ability to simply like, because what I do when I'm speaking for a long time period, if I was to describe it, is it is I think when I was watching a video yesterday with the podcast Jordan Peterson, he said it beautifully, which was he has a goal in terms of where he's going to go in his videos. He asks a question, and then the whole video, like he doesn't have any script. He's just literally going on an adventure and a journey to this end place. So that's like one way you could do it is imagine now like you've got your ideal avatar who is going to view you as the authority, and they can spend time with you. They can literally like spend an entire day with you. Imagine if they had a gap that they wanted to fill as a desire, and you had the answer to fill that gap. And they, to fill that gap, asked you a question and were like, Yasmin, I see what you're doing. I have no idea how you've got there, how you're doing it, but I want to know what's the secret.
Mm.
Now, if it's something of which like you have a lot of genuine experience within, but you don't know how, this is the part that makes it highly engaging, entertaining for the person that's watching.
Mm.
Is that you're actually taking them through a process of your unconscious becoming conscious to you. It would be boring if you wrote a book about The Secret and you went live and you were just reading from the book. That would be the most boring thing to watch and observe. Why?
Mm.
Because there's no potential for mess up. There's no potential for danger. What makes an adventure so exciting? What
Mhm.
makes it exciting is the fact that on an adventure, you could run into monsters. You
Yep.
could get lost. That's what makes it exciting.
Mhm.
So when you're taking people with you on this adventure, it's like they're experiencing the hero's journey with you, and they're going to be present more throughout the entire thing versus here's everything that I wrote in my book. Let me read this out to you. And you can pretend like you're not reading, or you can just say that you're reading, but comparison, you're just going to switch your brain off completely. But the actual reason for why you pay so much attention when it's not scripted is because the person could fall at any point and you're right there to watch it. You want to watch the plane crash. That's why people to the news. So imagine tuning into the news and it's like planes that are just safely landing every day. Imagine tuning into the news and it's cars just going in traffic and none of them are crashing. As soon as one crashes, look what happened over last week with Anthony Joshua's friends. As soon as one crashes,
Yeah,
the world wants to talk about it. That's what everybody is secretly craving. So, the fact that you're saying that I could mess up, I could say something wrong, I could go blank. Give people what they want. Show the blanks, show yourself messing up. And you'll just have more people that will naturally flock towards you and potentially even help you during those times if they're watching live.
Mm.
They'll come to you and be like, Yasmin, you were talking about this thing. That's what it was. Get back on track. That's what the
Oh,
supporters will do.
yeah. But I think I would have to have at least some kind of prep in my head, like to say, okay, this is what I want to say.
Yes, of
Not
course.
necessarily write it down and like script it or anything, but just like have some mental plan.
Having some mental plan is definitely good, I would say. But
Always better.
when I'll tell you what's better than a plan is an intention.
Mm.
That's the best thing that you can have. If you go in with the intention to like make it perfect, you've screwed it
Something.
already. You have the
Yeah.
best plan in the world, you've messed up. But if you go in with the intention to simply serve, that's a cleaner intention. If you go in with the intention to explore the truth, that's a cleaner intention. If you go in with the intention for you to even learn and go in this journey as well, that's a clean intention. Because sometimes that's what people want to watch. I did a video before where it was just me in there, and some guy asked me for a topic to cover in my content. I was like, yeah, I'll cover it, but I'll be real from the very beginning. I actually don't know much about this topic. So let's go on a journey together and explore what this this thing is. So many people put out content like that, and it's highly engaging as well. Times that's what the streamers do a lot of. Because think
Mhm.
streamers' perspective, how much do you think they plan?
So,
Like
Spontaneous.
I
they'll
believe
plan the
so.
Spontaneous.
Yeah, that's why they're so popular, because it's just like like live, exactly how it's happening, what's happening.
yeah. People and especially in the age of AI, people are fed up of the curated content.
Mm.
Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it.
Okay.
Right. So one thing that we were going to do was you asked about the current piece of content that you put out, the ads.
Yeah.
For us to actually do a little bit of a review on these ads, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Before we go, because my phone's gonna die.
yeah, so I'm gonna pull up your Instagram page now, and we can do a little review of your ads. So
Hmm. Oh, how's he doing?
okay. So I can see you've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Is it 14 ads that you've done?
I don't know if they're all ads. I think should be about at least 7. There should be at least 7 there.
Okay. So
The
tell
others
me,
are not. Yeah.
without looking at the metrics, just which one did you feel as though was your favorite one, your best one?
That one is sitting in the car. That one did really well.
This
One
one
of
or this
those. One of those. I'm not sure which one. I can't really see now. The one
Should we
that
do it?
starts off well. Yeah. Just click on that one. I think it's that one. Oh, yeah, that one did. Like views wise, it did quite well.
Okay. I don't know why it wasn't loading properly, but um, what do you think you did well there with the ABCs?
Hmm. The connection was good. Was there
Mm.
definitely
hmm
the belief? Maybe I'd say. Not so much maybe the belief because I didn't really mention anything about what it is that I have.
Yeah,
It
it
just-
was just why.
yeah. I think it's just the connection there in that one.
Mm. So here's the cool thing, right?
Hmm.
If you have this ad over here where it's just connection and it's working really well, like this isn't something that you have to sack off now that it's not the perfect ad. Like you actually have the beginnings of a great ad. So
Right.
if you know that this is, for example, like, because if you connected to people straight away, maybe you want to lead with that, and that could be a hook. So that's
Mm.
part of that now that you always have as a digital asset. You never lose it. It's just in the inventory.
Right.
See what I'm
And
saying?
then combine it with something else that's shared more authority in it.
Mm. I tell you who was the king of doing this. Roy was the king of recycling content.
Mhm.
Like he would just do it shamelessly. He would make one bit of content and then slightly tweak it, put it out again, and it would go viral again. So,
Right.
recycling highly underrated to do
Recycle.
it. If you're going to do it, adapt it, make it better. So the connection is there. The belief, not necessarily there. The authority, feel like that was there.
Mm. I don't think so. Maybe towards the end, but like most people don't get to the end. They just watch the beginning. But
Um, what do you think the authority was at the end, if there was any?
like stating I have something better or whatever I said at the end. I can't really remember. So,
Okay. So it wasn't exactly the clearest as what we're hearing right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So I think across the board, we can see that that's probably the fastest way that we're going to be able to take the ads from being just ads to then becoming great ads is
Mm.
adding in authority, adding in the belief aspect, right?
Yeah.
So When it comes to authority, I'd say the first thing we want to establish is like, how are you an actual authority to your target audience? So we said that the area that you're an authority within is not necessarily the business side,
Mm.
but it's also the fulfillment side,
Yeah.
and how you're someone that effortlessly is grateful. You are positive. You are someone who um, is content.
Mm.
So these are things that people want to have in their life. Like your target audience, Muslim mothers, do you not think that they'll want to be grateful? Do you not think that they'll want to be content? Do you not think that they'll want to be, um, you know, um, fulfilled? Like
Yeah.
they would want all of those things. So how can you position yourself as that authority in general? What would you be able to call yourself? Maybe not because at the moment, if you just look at your bio, for example,
Yeah.
okay, so you say halal business mentor, late starter. So if you're not going to position yourself as the business mentor, what do you think would be a better way to position yourself so that people will see you as an authority?
Oh, man.
So,
What we just said now, isn't it? Like grateful, positive, fulfilled, content. But then it's all about me.
Yeah. What's a personal brand supposed to be?
Isn't it supposed to be like aimed at like who are you like directing your stuff to?
Yeah. So in this example, you're directing your stuff to who?
People that are not in that same position of fulfillment.
So let's say, for example, in terms of you can think about this later on, but what if you were I think you can keep the halal, but what if you were a halal fulfillment mentor or an Islamic fulfillment mentor? Um,
Mm.
Now, if you set that as the position, that's where you are. Who would be in the position where you want to be? Because I understand that it's something that you naturally might be quite adept at, might be quite gifted within. But would you say that you've grown within this area over the last decade, over the last 5
Yeah,
years?
yeah,
Yeah? So
yeah, definitely.
who were you before? Like what level were you at in terms of that particular area of your life, if not the level of being the fulfillment mentor, the Islamic fulfillment mentor? Who were you? What was the biggest difference?
Mm, yeah, maybe fear. Mm,
What was your fear?
fear of judgment.
Mm, fear of judgment.
Yeah, that's something I've sort of worked my way out of in the last a lot in this last year, to be honest, since doing all this that content stuff and that.
I tell you what, that target audience of like Muslim mums, I'm telling you, I know them. My mum is a Muslim mum, but not
Mm,
only that, like my sister's a Muslim mum. So many other cousins and relatives, like all Muslim mums. And I tell you, the number one fear that they all seem to have is that fear of judgment.
yeah.
It's massive. And what they don't know as well is how good life can be when they don't have that fear of judgment. Why? Because they don't have the awareness.
Mm.
One, they don't even have the awareness that they have the fear of judgment. So you calling it fear of judgment straight away makes them like, oh my God, that's what I have. You make them problem aware.
Yeah.
In terms of how you can actually define your target audience for them to like associate with it,
Yeah.
is you can give them something that they feel proud of, but I'd also throw in there something that is an area that they want to improve within, you know? So when you think about the Muslim mum who specifically struggles with that fear of judgment, what's the biggest downside of her living with fear of judgment? What was the biggest downside for you?
You don't push yourself out of your comfort zone. You don't take risks. You're too scared of failing and people judging you.
Mm. So if you're afraid of that judgment, then how would you describe that, like in a word, that person who is not pushing themselves out their comfort zone, not taking risks, afraid of what other people think? Who are they?
In a word or like in a statement, I'd say they don't reach their full potential.
Yeah. But in a word, who is that?
Mm. In a word, how would you describe that type of person you mean?
Unfulfilled.
Unfulfilled, scared.
Untapped.
Um, in a word, what would you say, babe? In a word, describe it.
Yeah. Or describe how you now see yourself or what you experienced when you let go of that fear of judgment. How would you describe that?
Relieved. uh, free.
Free.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you ain't
Freedom
free,
coach.
what?
I should be the freedom coach.
Right.
Or
Freedom.
unapologetic. Yeah, that's the one. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Liberated.
The Islamic freedom mentor or the halal freedom mentor, whatever you want to call it. But if somebody is not free, what are they?
Imprisoned.
Imprisoned.
So my bio should read like freeing imprisoned Muslim moms.
Literally. Could you imagine how much that would resonate with those Muslim moms who like literally feel
Imprisoned by their fear of judgment from others. That's quite cool, actually.
Can you see?
Like, I'd follow me.
Right? Because it's,
Me
I
too.
tell you one of the things that it is as well, it's almost like a taboo topic. You know? It's like you can't talk about the fact that we're imprisoned. We are imprisoned. We don't talk about that stuff. When
Yeah,
there's
especially the Asians, yeah.
when there's finally somebody who's talking about that stuff, you become the voice for these people. And they're like, wow, you're saying everything that I think, but I just
But I
don't say
don't
out.
think, yeah.
Can you see now how you'd be the authority for those people?
Mm-hmm.
If you're the so you have the freedom, do you not?
Yep.
Because the freedom that you're portraying, it's not financial freedom. It's not
Mhm.
location freedom, right? The freedom that you're portraying is that freedom from the opinions. It's a metaphysical freedom.
Yep.
And then that translates to you being able to have mission freedom, where you're actually doing what you want to do, living your purpose.
I actually did a video or a couple on this freedom, not freedom of judgment, but like not caring about judgment, and they did do quite well actually.
Right.
Mm.
So I think for you, the main thing that you can kind of position yourself as with that authority aspect is, so many of these women are just not free. But you hand on heart with conviction say that, you know what? I am free. I'm free from these opinions. They don't hurt me the same way anymore. Can you
Yeah,
say that?
I wouldn't say I'm like 100% free of it, but like as
Okay.
far as the general public is concerned, yeah, I've never been someone that cared about someone else's opinion.
Absolutely.
The
But
only people whose opinion matters to me is like the people closest to me.
here's the thing. It doesn't even matter that you're not 100% free,
Mm.
because you don't need to be. You just need to be more free than the people who are going to be seeing you as the authority.
Yeah,
They need to, you know what? She seems like she is free from judgment,
yeah.
like based off of how she shows up compared to
Mm.
me. That's what they need to be saying. And as long as you're a few steps ahead, they're going to be like, yeah, she is an authority. That's literally what they were thinking. So I think that's the biggest shift that you can really make. Now, what you're going to be thinking in your mind is, okay, if I just talk about like being free from opinions, if I just talk about fear of judgment, how is that going to translate into leads, sales, business partners? How is that going to
Yeah,
happen?
yeah.
And the way that it will work is that, as somebody who, let's say, for example, um, I'm one of your ideal clients, and I comment on your video, and I'm like, Yasmin, I need your help just with the freedom aspect and unlocking some stuff mentally so I can overcome my fear of judgment and actually like put my face out there. I've got my own little side business. I just can't put my face out there.
Mhm.
That's my biggest right now. And I know you can help me. They come onto a call with you, they have a conversation, you actually help them with that particular issue, solving that problem. And then by the end of it, they're going to be like, wow, this is amazing. I feel liberated already. What do I do now? And that's where they're at a different stage of the funnel. And what a good funnel should do is, it's almost like, you ever played like Mario Kart or any of these games,
Yeah,
racing, and you can go on this accelerator where once you put your car over it, like the car goes faster.
yeah.
That's what happens when you actually solve a person's problem within the funnel.
Mm.
They start accelerating through your funnel because they're like, I want more. What else can I get from you? Like, you've helped me now. Can you help me with more stuff? Can you recommend anybody else to me? Like this is literally what the conversation would be like. You'd give them the solution, and by the end of it, they're like, wow, Yasmin, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I've been struggling with this for so long. You've literally saved my life. All I need now is like an actual way to make money, an actual way to like start generating high ticket sales or an actual, mentor, whatever it is. That's all I need right now. They will literally like state the problem next, and then you go, oh, you know what? Listen, I'm not the freedom mentor. Sorry, I'm the freedom mentor, but I'm not necessarily like the Alex Hormozi, the business guy or whatever. But I know someone who is going to be great for you.
Mm.
Or I can't exactly, like, I'm not a company. I can't give you a franchise, but I know a company that can be great for you based off of what you've said there. But that recommendation now, after you've like not come from a place of trying to get something you've just served,
Mm.
it just has a lot more effectiveness in people genuinely taking action because you now have influence over that person.
Mm. Right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Not
So
focus so much on the actual business and just
just be the authority to your tribe of people, your community. Be the influential person. Be the leader. And then natural thing that'll happen. Just think about it like this. Imagine if you had someone like, you know, I'm trying to think of a great leader right now, that's very influential. But let's say like someone like Layla Hormozi, you know.
mm.
Layla Hormozi is like, yo, Yasmin, I want to join your business. I mean, she's a bit of a bad example because she talks about business. Let me think of somebody else. Let's say it was somebody like, Kylie Jenner, #1 Instagram influencer. Like, yo, I want to join your business. She shouldn't talk about business. She talks about makeup.
Mm.
Think she's going to have any difficulty when it comes to telling her audience to start buying products? No,
No.
she has influence. Now, you don't have to be an influencer to have influence, but you could be both. The better
Yeah.
thing to be is to be influential than to be an influencer, but to be
Mm.
both, that's ideally what you want. And the direction that you're currently going in, if you just continue doing what you're doing and you got better and better at doing this and just connecting, you'd be very
Mm.
good at, like, being an influencer. That's kind of the direction that you're going, what most creators go in that direction of. But if you want to be influential, then you
Mm.
have to have the authority aspect.
Mm. Yes.
Makes sense? So it doesn't, like, you don't have to be influential in business. Just like kind of get that out of your head
Mm.
and think to yourself, okay, until I've got to the point where I've had 100K a month or I've had a 50K a month or whatever, like, I'm just not even gonna try to be influential in that area because there's no point.
Yeah.
I can't compete. That's not how I'm gonna win. The only time that I'll really talk about business, etc., is when I am, trying to break something down genuinely to a person and it requires a business analogy. I have a story about business because I'm a business owner. That would be a time.
Mm.
Or it's gonna be, like you're just talking about business because you hit a milestone. Like, why not celebrate it? Why not share that? It could be you're launching something new specifically, so you can talk about business then. But mostly you're not going to talk about business as a freedom mentor, as a Islamic freedom mentor. You don't talk about that.
What happens with like ads and stuff now? Like if I like stop
Mhm.
talking about the business side of it, then what do I do?
Okay, I'm going to show you the rest of this cheat sheet. So what I've done is I've literally got my offer, or yeah, because this isn't how everybody in Agic will market in Agic. This is just the aspects of it that, for me, have changed my life and that I was most attracted towards.
Mm.
So when you think about like going backwards from what Enagic offers, it's, for me, it's three main things. It's the mentorship,
Yep.
right? It's the model and it's the machine. Those were like the main things that attracted myself.
Mm.
Other people, it could be things like the health products. Other people, it could be the community. Other
Yep.
people, it could just be the like, I don't know, the retreats. So it could be whatever. But for me, those are the main three things. So I'm going to work back from that in terms of my levels of awareness and what I can put out in advertising. So when it comes to the business aspect, I'm now calling it the kingdom expansion model, right? Before I used to call it like a done for you business model, but I realized that it was so limiting to what it actually offers because it's not just physical assets, digital assets, but it's a whole franchise that comes with it too.
Mm.
And the better way to describe it is it's not and that's another thing, it's not just a franchise, but it's also like something that is it's like faith aligned. So the
Mm.
people who are at the most successful in this business are the ones that are aligned with the values, and they tend to be the ones that are also most obedient to God and like actually most about their faith. So
Mm.
this is something that makes it completely unique in that aspect. But you wouldn't talk about that, really. Not as someone who is the freedom mentor. You don't have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Or you would also talk about, let's say if this is the exact same offer, you wouldn't even talk about the machine. I think you would talk a little bit more about the model than you talk about the machine, because the machine is now where you got the system, you got the funnels, you got the business money making aspects, right?
Mm.
But for this to come with weight, it's not just something where you have personal results, but more weight comes from results that you've got with the people. That's where more authority comes from. So if you haven't helped another person hit their first 10K, again, like you're really going to struggle in terms of competition.
Yeah.
So I talk about the machine last for yourself specifically. Again, only when you feel like you need to, but not anywhere else, because you don't have to. Model, I'd say you can talk a little bit about this because it's talking a little bit about the mission, but the mentorship is going to be the biggest thing that you'd be promoting. Now, here's the thing. On your
Mm.
actual social media profile, I would barely even mention mentorship. I
Mm.
would sprinkle it in here and there, but I would barely talk about it. Why? Because this is most awareness. And how many of your target audience is truly at a level where they're ready to be
Yeah.
speaking about most awareness? Like, chances are they ain't there yet because they don't even know they have a problem.
Yep.
So I come all the way to the beginnings, right? Where a person has to start. When we're engineering belief, that's what we are. We're just belief engineers. That's one way to identify yourself as. What we're doing is we are taking people through these levels of awareness. So we have 10 sequential beliefs in transformational marketing. And as long as a person believes each one of these things, then they're going to buy from you like effortlessly. You won't even have to jump on a sales call with them. What will happen is by the time they've come through the funnel, when they hop on the call, they already want to buy. They
Mm.
already know, which is similar to what happened with you when you think about it. Like you
Yeah.
came to the call, you were like, yeah, I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions, but I knew I wanted to buy. Why did
Yeah.
I? That? It's because you had these beliefs,
Yep.
and not all of them are engineered. Some of them you already built from being nurtured elsewhere. But how you want to frame it as a marketer is like you want to assume that people have none of these beliefs.
Right.
And if you make sure that throughout the funnel, like they can have these beliefs adopted, transmitted somehow, then they want to have all of them. So the first one is the destination. They have to believe in the heaven that they want, right? Number two, priority. They have to believe that getting to that heaven matters more than any other goal.
Mm.
To believe in the pain, that this hurts more than anything else, not being away from the goal. They have to believe in the cost, that not acting and
Yeah.
not moving towards that goal is costing them more than staying still. You have to believe in the reality that this is real where they are right now. Like all of these things describes their reality. It's not just somebody else. They have to believe in urgency, that if this continues, they're going to lose out. They have to believe in causality, that this is the true diagnosis that you offer them when you offer them a diagnosis. They have to believe in hope, that this solution is desirable to them. Like they actually want to do this thing. It can't be that you're offering a solution and it's like, I would never do that myself though. You
Yeah.
know? So, especially you clearing out that fear of judgment straight away. Could you imagine like people, how much more desirable the opportunity would become? You
Yeah.
know? The method, the mechanism that works. So you have to believe in this as well. You have to believe that it actually does work, what you're offering, that solution, and then the brand is the final one. So this is the mentorship that you're talking about, and this is the brand. The brand is you. The brand is, um, the business of Enagic. The brand is your products. So you never talk about that really at all to your people. But you also
Yeah.
want to focus on building these, because the more look the size of them as well shows
Mhm.
how much weight that all of them have, and like these things at the top have very little weight in the conversion process. So I've mapped out like just how I would describe each level. So in the beginning, with the heaven that they're going to get to, it's what I would call divine sovereignty. For me personally, when I'm talking about my offer, the pain that they're at right now, like the reality, is unconscious slavery. That's where they currently are.
Right.
And the problem as to why they're in unconscious slavery is because they have slavery liabilities.
Right.
And the solution is simple. They need sovereignty assets. What are the best sovereignty assets that a person can get? Well, it's having a mentor, having a business model, and it's having a machine. And then the final thing is the actual brand, which I'm going to call the kingdom inheritance. Right? So I'm talking about the result that they're going to get. You're just going to inherit the kingdom.
Mm.
I'm not talking about the journey, I'm talking about the result. So, like, this is the beliefs, this is the results at each stage. So when it comes to my advertising and like, the way that I'm putting out content, I don't have to talk about every single step in every ad. I don't have to do that.
Mm.
I can pick one ad and just focus on trying to do one thing. So most people, what they do, because these are the marketing archetypes. So different marketers will market in different ways. Most people, when they're advertising, they're just going to promote their brand. That's what James be doing. I'm the purpose coach. I'm the best purpose
Mm.
coach. I'll help you. Yeah, you can do that, but you're doing it as a person, like you're marketing to the person that's shopping for you. You're marketing to the person that's a fan already. If they ain't a fan and they're not shopping, like, why are they ever going to buy from you? They don't know the reasons. So what you want to be doing in your marketing, because you know that majority of people, like 90% of your audience, they're either going to be the victim struggling or they're going to be the dreamer.
Right.
Right. So you want to market that. Like you want to actually talk more about, for me, the desire and the pain. So what I'd be doing here in my content is like, okay, with the process of helping somebody to gain awareness when it comes to their desire, all I'm doing is I'm reframing their thinking. So if somebody is dreaming, Great. I want you to dream, but I want you to dream differently. So it's not freedom that you really need, because freedom is an illusion, the way that it's marketed currently.
Mm.
But what you really need is sovereignty. Sovereignty is real freedom. And then I teach the difference between the two until the person has complete conviction that, you know what? He's right. I shouldn't have been chasing freedom this entire time. I should have been
Mm.
chasing sovereignty. Freedom is external. Sovereignty is internal. Sovereignty is something I can keep, is sustainable, is scalable. I've been chasing the wrong dream. So that's a whole ad that I can make upon that. And then at the end of it, like my lead magnet is just going to be a different lead magnet. So instead of sending them my WhatsApp group, right, I'm going to send them maybe a book.
Mm.
Listen, if you want to know more about sovereignty, the real difference between freedom versus sovereignty, what the elite don't want you to know, right? You need to watch this video called Thrive. This changed my life when I saw it, first of all, and I fully understood the difference between freedom versus sovereignty. I sent them the video, and there you go. Now, especially when they watch that video, they're going to gain even more awareness when it comes to their desire. But at the same time, it doesn't matter what the lead magnet is. I've got the lead. I've got their name now. I've got their phone number. I've got their email address. I got the lead. But what I'm doing is I'm marketing to these different levels of awareness depending on where I feel like my target audience is. So let's say, for example, like you have a person that comes onto your profile and like they followed you. So you're getting an understanding as to what the algorithm is finding based off of the content that you're putting out. And you're finding that the people coming onto your profile, like they're all chasing that freedom. That's not the real freedom. And you're the freedom mentor. So as the
Mm.
freedom mentor, you teach on what freedom actually is. That would be a part of it, right? What is freedom?
Right. Yeah.
You know? And they come to your page and you're like, yeah, all these people, like they're chasing location freedom. They just want to travel all the time. That's not real freedom. I need to go and make a video specifically for that person. And as I'm making it specifically for that person, you can make it for everyone. Once you've put it out there, like you get your leads to come through and you'll just send them whatever lead magnet is offered. And here's the beautiful thing is like, let's say, for example, you got found a winning ad that was just about freedom on its own.
Mm.
Person, when they come through, like they'll be able to come into the funnel from the very beginning, and the funnel will walk them through like all these levels of awareness. So it doesn't matter that they're at the beginning level, because even if somebody is at like most awareness, maybe you just send them less content, you start them further ahead in the funnel. But the funnel is designed in such a way where it presumes and assumes that people know nothing at all. They have no level of awareness. They're unaware. So if you market to this audience, you'll get low numbers. Nobody will care. Nobody's interested because nobody exists there.
Yeah.
But if you market to this audience of the dreamers, the victims, the strugglers, then you're going to have more people that are going to be in there. So then the question is, okay, because basically the pain and the desire is like the same level of awareness,
Mm.
but it's just two edges of two separate coins. Which
Yeah.
one do you want to market more? And what I would say to that is that from my personal experience, when I market to a person's pain, I tend to attract people that want to take action fast, but sometimes they're broke,
Mm.
no money. So, that's not the ideal. But then if I just market to a person's dreams and their desires, then that person tends to have more money and are willing to spend more, is another way to put it. But the problem is that they don't want to take action. Like they don't experience the pain. So the ideal is to have a balance of both, where you're either talking about pain and desire in the same ad, or you are like working out within who's coming into your profile, your followers. You know, what are these people leaning more towards? Are they all taking action? And if they are, then maybe you want to start marketing desire a little bit more. If they're taking action and they're broke, like market desire a little bit more. Market what the freedom looks like. And again, like we're not you don't have to market freedom, which is a freedom that you don't have. You don't have to market financial freedom. You don't have to market location freedom. You don't have to market any of those freedoms that you don't personally own yourself. You just market the freedom that you have in abundance. That's what makes you the authority. So that's the majority of your marketing. And like, if you can master this part, like, again, like I said, the funnel takes care of most of the rest. But if you want to start doing a little bit more, like, let's say, for example, you're finding that, yeah, I've got people coming through and I want to do less work in the funnel. I want to bring people through that are just like ready to buy in the DMs, because that can be possible as well. Like, people can just buy in the DMs. I've seen people do that. If you want that to happen, then you would be within your content starting to teach more about the problem, the solution, the product, and what's the most awareness. So if you want to market a problem, then again, it's alternate shifting. It's shifting their thinking, alternate thinking, and it would be from an inferior diagnosis to a superior diagnosis. So they might be thinking to themselves, like, the reason for why I am someone who is enslaved, I mean, imprisoned, is because I was just born into the wrong family. It's because of my culture. It's not because of your culture. Inferior diagnosis, superior diagnosis. It's because you have a fear of judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see how that shift of thinking is going to make them be like, damn, she's right. And I respect her for calling me out or whatever, but I needed that. Thank you. Just giving people that shift is value. Can you see how simple it is now?
Yeah.
Instill belief in a person. This is all we're doing. All we're doing is shifting people's thinking. And you can pick one to add. For the solution aspect, you could be doing two things. You could be, again, it's shifting thinking, but you're revealing the costs of alternate methods and then revealing the benefits of the unique mechanism that we have. So let's say that you're going to focus on the fear of judgment aspect, which is the metaphysical assets. Well, if a person's like, yeah, you know what? I know I've got this fear of judgment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just like let it go away by not thinking about it. I'm not going to think negatively about it. Okay. Educate them on the cost of that. Well, if you actually understand the law of entropy, then you understand that if you just leave things to its own devices, then more entropy exists, more chaos. Yeah. So it's going to be more costly. So you reveal the cost and they're like, oh, damn, she's right. Now reveal the benefits of our unique mechanism to compare it. But if you actually get help, through having a mentor or having, like a metaphysical asset in the form of a book or whatever, this is something that can really help you. And straight away, they're like, oh man, you're right. You're so right. What book? Which mentor? What? Okay, great. Glad you asked. Move on to the product. But at each level, I'm just shifting people's thinking. That's all I'm doing. And I've got it all there as to what you can do at every single level. So,
is that in school or is it not?
That currently is not in school, but I can put it in school. This is specifically one that I've created like for, our offer. So I'm going to make a template one that's just generic that anybody can go.
Because I would have to change that one's now specific for your audience.
To be honest, I don't think you have a different audience to me, like in totality. So for most of this, with the levels of awareness, I think it kind of applies to you, unless what you're telling me is that you feel as though the three aspects of the business model for you, or sorry, not the business model, the opportunity or the offer. The three main things are different for you. Like it's not mentorship, model, and machine that is the main three things, but it's like something else. Maybe for you it's the community. Maybe for you it's the health products. If it is, then yeah, you would change this a little bit. But for me, these are my three. So would you say it's different for you?
I'm trying to think of when I initially came in. I would say it would be the same because I wasn't really uh, thinking about the community at that point. It was just the
No.
business itself
Mhm.
and the mentorship. Yeah, that was a big one. When you say machine, is it like the actual product or you
No,
mean
I'm
it's
talking
the
about
business
like
machine?
the system.
Yeah, the system.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would say it's about the same for me.
there you go. So if it's the same for you, all of this is done for you from the like pain awareness to the top. All of it. I've basically done extra, is what I'm saying, because from what you've described, um, you want to focus primarily on the metaphysical. I call it sovereignty, right? That's my way of describing the heaven that they actually need. But you can call it something else. You could call it halal freedom if you wanted to. But if you call it halal freedom or you call it something else, then you just got to back it up different. So let's say with the metaphysical sovereignty, I think it still works because I've said there's three aspects of metaphysical sovereignty. It's follow one creator until surrender,
Mm.
fortitude, faith. Like
Yeah.
that's the same.
Yeah.
That's the same. That's the same as halal freedom.
Yeah.
Now you can call it halal freedom, but there might even be a better word where because halal is what's permissible, but there might be
Mm.
something that's like more desirable. So it could be like, you know, Ihsan freedom. Could be,
Mm.
one of these words that's just more around fulfillment, more around like striving for excellence. There's some Arabic
Yeah.
terms that exist there, but you can
Jihad.
just yeah, exactly, like jihad, like really just calling it out
I'll get
for
some attention. Give me banned probably.
attention
Jihad mentor.
from the police.
To get the wrong kind of attention.
Yeah, but everything is done. Everything is done already, mostly. All I would do if I was you is I'd be looking at these areas over here in terms of how you can add proof, because there's different levels of proof, right? So the more proof that you can show, the more that your authority won't just be like, oh, we'll take her word for it. It's like,
Mm.
damn, she wasn't lying. Like she actually did that. So assertion is the lowest level. That's just where you're telling people, like, I'm the authority. Then there's logic and explanation. So the more logic and explanation that you can back behind it, like showing maths, showing science to it, showing the spiritual proof in what it says in the scriptures, like that's what's gonna allow you to have a lot more proof. Then there's demonstration, seeing it in action, validating it through the way that you're showing up. So if you're telling people that, you got to liberate yourself, don't have a fear of judgment, but you're not going live, like people will be like, I don't know if I really believe that. But if they see you going live and being so confident and not caring, they're like, yeah, this woman, she walks her talk. She doesn't seem to have fear of judgment at all. Great. So now you've shown that you've got that next level of authority, or next level of proof with the authority. People believe the authority more. There's third-party validation. Other people are saying it now. If you've got comments of people saying this person seems fearless, I wish I had your confidence, you could put that as content and post that. Third-party validation now. And then there's repetition of results where other people don't seem to have a fear of judgment. Maybe it's like your partner, your husband. Idris is coming out there and he's putting out content as well because he used the same method and formula that you used yourself. That's repetition of results. It might just be one, but it's still repetition. Then there's costly proof. So people are risking their own, assets or their own lives in some ways to actually follow in your footsteps. That's another level of proof. And then when people become the identity and they go through the full transformation, they become like you almost. That's where it's the next level. And then finally, it's just where it's self-evident. It's just like reality is proving itself on across all domains. So you can be looking at for yourself in terms of the fear of judgment. I think definitely, right now it's easy for you to be operating at levels 1, 2, 3, at least level number 3 with that particular area. And that's higher than a lot of people. Very quickly, it can become level 4, level 5 when you start having your own little community of people that are stepping out their comfort zones, doing live videos, etc., liberating themselves. So, yeah, that's something that you can figure out. And I basically left some space here for myself to put my own in, and you can be putting in your own in there in terms of, some of the proof that you can offer, because one of the marketing laws is that proof is always better than promises. The more proof that you can put in, the better. And then again, like I've left this part blank too about authority, but it's just answering these questions. So one question that we asked earlier on today was, what is my current title or role? So for you, it's going to be something like the Islamic freedom mentor or the Ihsan freedom mentor, like whatever it is that you want to come up with as a name. Use ChatGPT to help you out. That's who you describe yourself as. And then what's your avatar's current title or role? It might just be that they are the imprisoned Muslim mom, the enchained Muslim mom, the whatever you want to call it. But when you say it like that, it's gonna be like, oh damn, it's gonna hit the nail on the head. And there's a clear gap between you and that person. It's literally mentor and student, authority and follower, leader and follower. And then you can be answering the questions on these different domains as well. What skills does my soulmate want or need to live their desired life? Which of those skills do I already embody at a higher level? Maybe it's communication. Maybe it's being able to coach themselves, ask them questions to uncover their fears. Results authority. What results does my soulmate want? Hasn't yet produced. Which of those results have I already generated and stabilized? So when there's a gap here too with the results, like, again, different level of authority, narrative authority. How does my soulmate currently explain their struggles? How do I explain the same domain with more coherence and truth? When they can't really tell their story in a way that sounds like a hero's journey, but you can, straight away they're going to be like, damn, I want that story for me. I want your story, is what narrative authority is. Energetic authority, what emotional energetic state does my soulmate desire? Well, if they're in fear currently, maybe they just desire to experience love instead.
Mhm.
Is that already my baseline? If it is, great, you've got that level. Mission authority, what future is my soulmate orienting towards? Am I already walking that path with commitment? That's mission authority. And then
Yeah.
finally, it's divine authority. What truth is my soulmate sensing but not yet living? And what moral or spiritual alignment are they aspiring to? Do I already act from that alignment under cost? So, like I said, if you don't have the previous domains, you can't figure it out, then there's no point answering the final ones. They all build and stem from each other. But from what I can see of you, definitely you've got the position authority now from what we've uncovered.
Yeah.
I think to some degree you've got the competence authority of how you're able to overcome fear of judgment, liberate yourself. And I think you have the results authority because you have like gone live even when you were scared. You have, like got married to someone who you weren't supposed to get married to. Like you done stuff that you weren't supposed to do. But you overcame the fear of judgment. People want to know, how do you do that stuff? And
True. Like
this is
not just with you, like my first marriage, that was a big step out of everyone's comfort zone. Nobody was happy about it.
Yeah, of course.
But I did it anyway. Because I just wanted to do what I wanted to do.
yeah. And now it's about like actually cashing in on those wins by starting to like share them and share what you're good at, share what you're proud of. So
Right.
that's that part. I think again, like with the connection, you're already good with this. So you can maybe even skip this part because I think your soulmate pretty well, who they're supposed to be. You can have a look at them if you want. Like I said, I think you're pretty spot on with that part. So it's just really the authority. I've shown you how
Yeah.
to do that, which is through these questions. And it's the belief engineering,
Belief, yeah.
which there's this whole formula of the 10 sequential beliefs in transformational marketing. And as long as like you can do any of these, to be fair, like you could just do this one and you add a lead magnet towards the end of it, the funnel takes care of the rest. That is the beautiful thing. That's the most beautiful thing, like literally. And I'll show you the proof of this. So if I go to somebody's okay, so if I go to like somebody's profile, right? When you look at this person over here, and she's pretty high level within the business, close to the dashes, I believe. Like looking at this profile, which of the beliefs do you think she's instilling in people?
Confidence, health.
No, I mean like in terms of the levels of awareness.
Oh,
Do you think she's instilling dream, pain? Do you think she's instilling problem? Like
dream.
it's just a dream.
Yeah,
That's
it's the dream
because
life. Yeah, living in
yeah,
wherever. Yeah,
this one is that kind of freedom, which is not the freedom that you're going to portray. But notice that there's no product in here.
yeah.
It's just showing the dream and lead magnets, showing the dream and lead magnets. If I go to somebody else, like This is another person. She's I think she's like almost 6A, or she's already 6A. One of these. She's like my cousin in the business because related to my upline in terms of we both have the same one. And look what she puts out. It's just horses. She
Mm.
horses and traveling and horses.
So,
Um,
My
if you don't
battery's
believe.
gonna die now, Mo.
Okay,
Yeah.
you get the message.
Yes. But if you put that in school, then I'll have a look at it tomorrow, please.
Sure. I can. I'll put it in school, and then I'll show you where I put it as well. Once I put it in, but
Okay.
that should help you with your ads.
Mm.
Does it all make sense so far?
It
Any
does
questions?
make sense. I'm just thinking like I've moved towards this business aspect now. I'm gonna pivot again, like away from it in a way. And I feel like,
Mhm.
oh, I don't wanna like think big people think like I'm confused with them. But it doesn't matter because there's not many of them on there anyway. So even if they feel confused, they can leave.
Yes. So you're like curating your message is what you're doing. You're
Mm.
refining the message. So, like I said, so far you've gone from connection, extreme connection, to now like you've tried to do authority by speaking about business. That's not how you do authority.
Yeah.
Authority is
Like
actually
speaking
done.
about something that you are an authority in anyway.
Authority is done by what we're talking about today. You try to do belief by talking about business. That's not how you're going to do belief.
Yeah.
How you'll do both of these is by, or belief, the alternate, the shifting of the thinking, shifting people's thinking. That's how
Yeah.
you can do it. And the authority you're going to do by making sure that you're actually speaking about something that you are an authority in.
Mm.
And that's it. That's a simple thing. So when you transition from doing content to call to action posts and ads, all you were doing was shifting from making content where people couldn't actually become a lead because you didn't offer it, to now it's content with a lead magnet.
Mm.
And I've put in some lead magnets in mine that I personally think are going to be good at every level. But for you, you can get creative with it. Like if you want to create some lead magnets, you can create some lead magnets that are going to be
Yeah.
specific to your people. Like let's say, for example, you're going to talk about the Islamic freedom method or true freedom in Islam. What
Mm.
scholars or what the Quran has to say about it, putting it into a PDF, putting it into a video, and just that in itself to then get people to, sort of respond, book a call, or whatever. Like that's a great way to initially get their contact information and make that connection that goes beyond just your profile.
Yeah.
So um, that's the main thing. You're already doing like what I said before, like the way that we started off the call. You see how different this is now to just hook, story, close, hook, levels awareness and close. Like you've
Yeah.
got the anatomy. That's what you've built over the last few weeks, which is great. Now you're gonna build the quality,
Yeah.
which is gonna be through the authority, the belief, and the connection. And I guarantee you this. Like I think that by the time you have put out some of your first ads using this, you'll probably start getting some of your first leads.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Alrighty then. Thank you, as always.
You're welcome. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on tomorrow night or Wednesday, just because I've got some family coming over.
That's all right. No problem.
I will put out a post in the school whenever I'm going to next.
Okay.
All
Cool.
right.
All right. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Likewise. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum. Peace.